woman's phone and glasses that she had left behind. More news next hour. From the news desk, I'm Rick Everett. Now with sports, Doug Downs.
It was billed as a heavyweight bout, and it lived up to all of the billing last night as the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams, two of the NFL's best, got together in L.A. The Rams came out on top 54-51 in a shootout. Patrick Mahomes threw for a career-high 478 yards and 6 touchdowns.
It sucks right now. I mean, this plain and simple. I mean, you wanted to win that game going into the bye week against a good team like that, a playoff team.
The Chiefs now have a bye week. The Kansas State Wildcats took care of the Missouri Tigers last night in the Paradise Jam 82-67. From the sports desk, I'm Doug Downs.
It's full of comic legends.
What TV series featured Tinky Winky and Poe?
To Catch a Predator.
Wall-to-wall laughs.
In Greek mythology, the goddess of virginity is who?
Lying.
It's the comedy game show.
In reference to the drugstore chain, what does CVS stand for?
Condoms, Viagra, and snacks.
Watch all the comedy on Funny You Should Ask.
Weekdays at 2 on Fox, Kansas.
The warm feel of a fireplace, the smell of fresh-baked pie, an appetizing dinner with family and friends featuring beef. Nothing satisfies better than beef, and the selections you have this holiday season are endless. Roasts, steaks, barbecue brisket. This holiday season, serve your family beef. Brought to you by these beef supporters.
Beef gives you at least 10% of 10 essential nutrients, giving your body more of the nutrients you need. Sponsored by the Kansas Beef Council and by the Farmers and Ranchers of Kansas.
Old Man Winter is knocking, and soon it could be as cold in your house as it is outside from the air coming through your windows. Now's the time to call Myers Exterior Products for your free estimate on new replacement windows. Did you know 10 to 25% of your heat can be lost out of your old windows? Don't let that happen to you this winter. Call 944-1024.
Myers Exterior Products. Call 944-1024. Call 944-1024.
Oh, Christmas tree, it's getting cold and chilly. Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie. He has trees both short and tall, so come on out and see them all. Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie.
Experience a family tradition of choosing and cutting a Christmas tree direct from the farm. 4C Christmas Tree Farm has a large selection of live Scotch and Austrian pine trees, fresh green wreath ribbons, and bows. 4C Christmas Tree Farm is located at 11501 East Creed Street, just 5/8 of a mile south of Pawnee on Greenwich Road and 1/4 of a mile east on Creed. They're open the Friday after Thanksgiving and all Saturdays 9 till dark and Sundays noon till dark, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays 2 till dark, or give Willie a call at 684-0464. Experience the tradition. 4C Christmas Tree Farm.
Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie.
Now back to the KQAM News Desk.
A federal judge has temporarily barred the Trump administration from refusing asylum to immigrants who crossed the border illegally. Legal groups had sued within hours after President Trump's proclamation was issued, arguing U.S. law clearly allows someone to seek asylum regardless of how they enter the country. President Trump says Saudi Arabia is a spectacular ally, and he is not convinced Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was directly responsible for the slaying of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Wall Street investors are hoping for a better day today, as we hear from Tom Busby.
Wall Street coming off a massive meltdown on Monday. The Dow tumbling almost 400 points, the Nasdaq down over 200. That's on worries about a worsening U.S. trade war with China, new home sales slumping even further, and a sell-off in big tech stocks like Amazon, Apple, and Facebook.
Stock futures aren't that promising for improvement this morning, with pre-market trading posting losses across the boards. Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Rams getting by the Kansas City Chiefs 54-51. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Maximum Outdoor Equipment. All equipment outdoors, from lawnmowers to snowblowers. Just south of Kellogg on West Street. And online at MaximumOutdoor.com.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, sunny and clear, high near 51, low tonight around 33. Tomorrow, sunny and clear, high near 56, low around 37, sunny and 57 for Thanksgiving Day Thursday, chance of rain Thursday night after midnight. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
Broadcasting from the Rusty Eck Ford Studios, this is the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM KQAM. It's time for Reason.
Now we can move forward and we can do something really fantastic here. If we can light the fire under our legislature, if we can get Republicans on board to do the right thing, to not play wishy-washy politics, to not coddle to the education special interests, maybe we can get our budget under control. We're now prepared to understand that everything we do, we have to do with a supermajority to override her veto, because she's going to veto just about everything that the legislature does.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. It is a Tuesday. It is a pre-Thanksgiving day. And I kind of dig it. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. Broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas. We are right here on the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We are not on TV today. I talked to the TV people yesterday, and they're working on a few technical things on their end. I don't know when the TV show is going to come back up, but they are not doing that as of right now. But don't worry, don't fret, don't be concerned. If you want to watch the TV show, you're more than welcome to do so. Just go to youtube.com, find KQAM Radio. You can jump on there, and you can find the live stream that we do every single day. We are not going to stop that no matter what, even if the TV side's not going to broadcast, even if we try and get censored every day, which we are still getting shadow banned to some degree. It doesn't matter. We're going to fight through it the way that we do every single day. Welcome in 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. We got a big show for you today. It is going to be a lot of fun. Bryan, Frye, Wichita City Council member, he'll be joining us today at 7:30, as he usually does. But he is our one and only guest for the day, which means the rest of the program, it is up to you for us to have the discussion that we want to have. We're going to try and keep it relatively light, because it is, well, a holiday week, and people are starting to get into holiday mode, and they really don't want to be in the crazy politics world. But at the same time, there's a lot of news happening. There's a lot of things going on. And just because we don't want to be involved in politics doesn't mean that politics doesn't happen, which means that we always fall behind the eight ball. And we don't want to do that, so let's have some fun today. But at the same time, let's get it into high gear, baby, and let's go ahead and push through the political world, as it never seems to end. I know everybody else, like on the sports side, they're all talking about the football games and the basketball games and everything going on there. At the end of the day, I don't really care, because that's entertaining, that's nice and sweet and hunky-dory. But at the same time, we're here to try and change something. We're here to do something positive and productive. Excuse me for that. I am still now. If you're aware, I've been fighting this ridiculous cold, and I have my cough button here, but sometimes it doesn't always work. And I don't know if it's on the uptrend or if it's just because I'm hyped up on a heck of a lot of meds right now, but nonetheless, we are still moving through here. Tomorrow, it is confirmed. Tomorrow, we do have U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. He'll be joining the program, and I am looking forward to chatting with him coming up. It's going to be at 7:30 tomorrow, which means that we're probably going to try and move Jim Howell, Sedgwick County Commissioner, to 8 o'clock, as we have the U.S. Secretary of State for the United States, Mr. Mike Pompeo, joining the program at 7:30 tomorrow. Don't miss that interview. It's going to be a heck of a time. I'm really looking forward to chatting with him, as he specifically requested that he come on this program with us to chat with us. Why? Because, well, he misses Wichita and misses Kansas. So we'll get to look forward to chat with him in just tomorrow, just a little bit. I want to start off with this today. You hear about the fact that we're divided as a nation, that we have, and you got to remember, the reason that we created the nation the way that we did was because we had our sovereign states. We had each individual state that was supposed to be sovereign. You're supposed to kind of live your life a little bit differently in every state, because every state was a little bit different based on what their economy looked like, what the people, the makeup of the people were like, what the focus of culture was there. Every state was a little bit different. Historically, we had a sovereign nation for each individual state, and then we ended up having our social compact that was the Constitution, where we said we're going to give up just a little bit of our rights in order to have the blanket United States as a constitution, as a federal government, and we're going to form a federal government that's going to have limited duties to oversee the United States as a whole. But at the end of the day, that's why it's called the United States, because we have our individual states that had sovereign power to themselves, but yet we were united to some degree as well. That is why we called ourselves what we are. The progressives don't understand this. They like the big utopian, they like the big blanket, they like everything being controlled at the federal level, because how dare the states do something individual and different for each one of these different states. They don't like that, because they don't get the control and the power that they normally like when we have individual sovereign states. And then if you remember, as we grew, we went to the Civil War. We went to the mid-1600s, or I'm sorry, the mid-1800s, 1860s, when the Civil War was. And we ended up seeing that the North and the South were really, really different. The North, very much industrial, very much more city, very much more populated. The South, very agriculture, very much agricultural. It had the slaves predominantly. Now, there were some still slaves in the North as well, but the slavery issue and the agriculture issue and totally different lifestyles, totally different worlds. And the makeup of the populations between the North and the South, and the North having way more populated areas, which means they had much more representation in the federal government as opposed to the southern states, which is why we came up with the Great Compromise. We came up with different ways to try and unite everybody, but the South pretty much said, you know what, you guys are different. We don't want to be part of this anymore. You guys are trying to abuse us. You guys are trying to tax us on the goods that we're sending to you, and it's ridiculous. We don't want to deal with this anymore. We are branching off. We're doing our own thing. Not just because of slavery, which everybody says that was the reason for the Civil War. That was a part of the Civil War, but it was agriculture. It was cotton. It was the sales taxes. It was the difference in lifestyle between the North and the South. But we really had two different nations because of how different things were. Then we united, and we had, the Reconstruction and everything going on. But today, let's fast forward from that point to today. Is there a difference in lifestyle across the nation? Are we seeing the divide again? We're seeing the segregation again. We're seeing segregation from the left and the progressives to where they don't want to be near conservatives. If you remember, we have Antifa that says if you disagree with us, then pretty much you're a fascist and we have the right to come after you. If you are the difference between a city and a rural community. We were talking about the potential of having not a popular vote, but electoral college process for a statewide election, because even between the rural communities and the big city like Wichita, that there is a big difference in lifestyle. There's a big difference in agenda or issues in how they interpret certain things, and we need to look at that as well. Let's look at the difference between Kansas and California, or Kansas and Colorado, even just our next door neighbor. I found a piece here from the Business Insider, and it shows really that we are dividing, very much so. And now according to the Business Insider and who broke this down, this map shows that U.S. really has 11 separate nations with the entirely different cultures in the U.S. And Kansas, actually, surprisingly, is kind of divided between two of them. One of them being the Midlands, where it's a lot of agriculture, a lot of the rural community, which is what we are here. But then also, on the western part of the state, it's considered the far west, where they're kind of traditionalists. But 11 different nations. We're dividing ourselves so much in the United States between culture, between religion, between lifestyle. One of them, the Yankeedom. Yankeedom compromises of New England, upstate New York, and much of the industrial Midwest, and northern Pennsylvania and Minnesota. Residents in these states, founded by Puritans, are more comfortable with the government regulation than people in other regions. They love government. They value education, citizen participation in government, and the assimilation of outsiders. Yankeedom has since the onset put great emphasis on perfecting earthly civilization through social engineering, denial of self for the common good, and assimilation to the outsiders. These are the ones that we always lose in elections. It really makes sense, doesn't it? Michigan, Minnesota, New York, all the way up to Maine. This area here is pretty much, government's good. It's all about the common good, not about the individual. All about what? Socialism. How about the New Netherlands? New Netherlands is the greater New York City area, encompassing itself with the northern New Jersey as part of Connecticut. The area was settled by the Dutch, retained by many of the values, and made Netherlands a paragon of the Western civilization and become the diverse hub for commerce, the big commerce area. Now, the place we are, the Midlands, America's Great Swing Region. According to this story, the region extends from the Quaker Territory in Pennsylvania to Delaware through the populated Midwest area of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, down through the plains of Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas, stretching out including parts of Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle, and New Mexico. It includes some of the what we consider America's heartland and middle America, and it prioritizes the middle class above anybody else. One of the groups, or one of the categories, the Tidewater region, includes the coastal areas of Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina, as they see the decline as cities begin to expand, and we see less and less agricultural. We see the greater Appalachia area, where they're very suspicious of outsiders, and they're the hard-working blue-collar workers. The Deep South traces its roots to slave societies in West Indies, where democracy was reserved for the privileged, and many were resigned to a life of servitude. And yet they resist regulation, and they focus on individual liberty. The Deep South's caste system was eventually smashed outside the intervention. The Deep South tends to fight against the expansion of federal powers, taxes on the wealthy, and corporate environmental regulation. We had the New France area down by New Orleans, which is very multicultural. The El Norte, which compromises the southwest Texas and the Mexican border, Arizona, parts of California, and is part of its re-embraces and focuses on its revolutionary sentiments. We have these different, the reason I bring this up, which I think is kind of fascinating just by myself anyways, I enjoy this kind of talk. I enjoy this kind of discussion and learn about the different cultures in different areas of the country. But we're seeing that there are many different ways of lifestyles in the nation. Now, as we do national elections, as we talk about national issues, from the border and from the wall on the southern part of the border to the pot issue in California, to the high taxes in New York, to the rural community and agriculture here in Kansas. There's different lifestyles all around, and everybody has its different mindset. The question is, can progressives and Democrats create legislation and create laws that are blanket that makes everybody happy across the nation? No. The short answer is no. Which means when you hear Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when you hear Bernie Sanders, when you hear Hillary Clinton, when you hear Joe Biden, when you hear Nancy Pelosi, when you hear all of these Democrats come out and say that we need to do this for the American people, and we need to do this blanket discussion, this blanket issue, you know that they're not in any way, shape, or form looking out for the betterment or looking out for the best interest of every person. This is why global governments will never work. This is why the United Nations will never work. This is why having a utopian socialist nation will never, ever work. Look, socialist societies fail when they're even tiny little countries. Tiny little countries. Now try to do that with a nation that has 50 sovereign states where we have a lifestyle difference completely different from state to state to state, and we have different regions with different interests, with different economies, with different types of people, with different histories, and try and create legislation that's supposed to appease everybody. You don't. What you get is somebody who tries to appease a certain sect, and the rest of them can go to hell. That's the way the progressives see it. They don't. Sometimes they recognize it. Sometimes they don't recognize it. But this is why socialism will never work. Unveiling the layers of the onion, if we try to explain, and the next time you talk to a Democrat, the next time you talk to a progressive, the next time that you talk to a socialist, this is just more arson to be able to put in there. If they tried to say, hey, we need universal health care. Hey, we need this social program. Hey, we need the government to do this blanket thing. We need the government to do this because the federal government, we need to have a centralized federal government. If you do that, the very first thing off the bat is the fact that you are not representing everybody in this nation, because we have so many different cultures and religions and beliefs and people and origins and traditions that it will never appease everybody. You are never looking out for the groupthink, because we are not a groupthink kind of nation. We are an individual sovereign nation with individual individuals and people that have individual thoughts. I know it's a wild, crazy thought, but this is why Democrats, progressivism, liberalism, socialism, and big governmentism will never, ever work. 316-721-8255. We got a lot to get to today. We do have a lot of local news that's coming out, local politics, as we get closer to the legislative session. And Governor-elect Laura Kelly, oh, yeah, she's starting to take credit for a lot of things happening here in Kansas. The media giving her the credit for a lot of things here in Kansas before she's even taken office, saying that things are stabilizing, things are getting better, just for the potential outlook and what a Governor Laura Kelly will look like starting in January. We'll talk about a lot of that today, plus your phone calls. I do want to hear from you. Again, one guest. The rest of the time, it's going to be open lines to you today on a Tuesday, right before Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people are on holiday. They're taking a break. Don't tune out, because there's a lot of interesting news happening around the country and right here in Kansas. 22 minutes past the hour on a Tuesday. Stay right here to the Voice of Reason.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Ag News from Mid-America Ag Network. Well, as we approach our Thanksgiving holiday this week, the American Farm Bureau Federation's 33rd annual survey of classic items found on the Thanksgiving Day dinner table indicates the average cost of this year's feast for 10, $48.90, or less than $5 a person. That's a 22-cent decrease from last year's average of $49.12, and the third straight year of declines in price. American Farm Bureau Federation Chief Economist Dr. John Newton attributes the lower overall cost of the dinner to the price of the Thanksgiving Day turkey.
One of the reasons that Thanksgiving dinner is going to be more affordable this year is the turkey. Turkey prices came in at $1.36 per pound. That's down about 3% from what we saw last year.
Foods showing a decrease in price this year, in addition to turkey, were milk, sweet potatoes, green peas, and a dozen rolls. Several items saw modest price increases this year, including cranberries, pumpkin pie mix, and stuffing. Farm Bureau also surveyed the price of a traditional Thanksgiving meal available from a food delivery service.
We surveyed some of the top food delivery services and found that the average cost of a Thanksgiving dinner was about 60% higher. The average cost of a turkey was 50% higher. When using this food delivery service, the average cost was around $8 per person, compared to less than $5 when going to the grocery store.
And AFBF added 3 new items to the survey this year to reflect changes in consumer trends.
We added a bone-in ham, green beans, and russet potatoes. Adding these new items to the Thanksgiving dinner menu reflects the diversity in Thanksgiving dinners across the country. And to add these 3 new items costs slightly more than $1 per person, making the total cost of the Thanksgiving dinner slightly higher than $6 per person.
But again, the traditional Thanksgiving dinner, less than $5 a person, according to the American Farm Bureau. Ag News, Mid-America Ag Network.
On the next Mike Gallagher Show, now that Mexican citizens are saying President Trump is right and the migrant caravan is an invasion, will this speed up the building of the wall? Also, did you hear famed Watergate reporter Carl Bernstein argue that networks shouldn't air the White House press briefings in their entirety? Join us for that and more right here on the next Mike Gallagher Show.
Mike Gallagher on the Big Talker, KQAM, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM.
Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays has everything you need to get ready for the holidays. Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays has gift ideas for everyone, A to Z. From the young kiddos to the adults, there's something for everyone at Pride Ag Ace Hardware. So whether it's a dad, a mom, a son, a daughter, a sister, a brother, a grandfather, well, you get the idea. Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays has a gift idea that's perfect to fit anyone's list. Pride Ag Ace Hardware of Mays, where we take pride in serving you.
What happens when 4 legacy seed brands converge their paths into one? You create a stronger hybrid. Curry, Prairie Brand, NewTek, and Hogemeyer standing together as one. Committed to serving the Western Corn Belt, backed by the world's largest U.S.-based research and development engine. 4 now standing together as one Hogemeyer hybrids with deep roots and shared vision. See how we've grown at therightseed.com.
And now this message about fully customized vehicle wraps and graphics from Shire Graphics of Park City.
Park City's Shire Graphics has the highest quality of big truck and fleet graphics, from passenger vehicles to the big rigs and everything in between. No matter the size of your fleet, Shire Graphics of Park City is the area's leader in digitally printed vehicle wraps. Superior quality digital vehicle graphics from Shire Graphics, where their niche is your need in vehicle graphics, from single vehicle to fleet. Shire Graphics at shiregraphics.com.
This Thanksgiving, let the Spears family cook for your family. Spears Restaurant and Pie Shop, Maple and Tracy in Wichita, makes Thanksgiving deliciously easier than ever, catering all the goodness of the holiday for you. Whether you choose to pick up the prepared Thanksgiving goodness the Wednesday before to warm up in your own home, or pick up the prepared ready-to-go meal on Thanksgiving Day from Spears, it's easy as pie. And family meals of 6 or more will even throw in the pie. Call Shara on Spears Thanksgiving Hotline, 686-5173, 686-5173.
Shopping small and local this holiday season feels good, so pass along these good tidings with gift boxes and baskets from Yoder Meats. Our gift boxes are filled with locally sourced meats and steaks, as well as cheeses and other products made from Kansas companies. We're sure you'll love supporting them too. What a wonderful way to show your love and appreciation to family, friends, clients, or employees. From our Christmas tree to yours, give the old-fashioned flavor of Yoder Meats in Yoder and 3 locations in Wichita.
Just a reminder for you, today is the last day that we will be doing our KQAM Turkey Drop presented by Yoder Meats. 3 locations in Wichita, 1 in Yoder, online at yodermeatsks.com. Today's the last one. No more turkey drops after today, so stay tuned in. We'll be doing that later on in the program. Looking forward to giving away the very last one. It's been a lot of fun. We love doing that promotion each and every year. Individual sovereignty between each state. You have to remember that when the Constitution was written, it was limited to very specific duties for the federal government. The rest was supposed to be delegated to the states. You want to do environmental protection, you want to take care of the environment, that's at the statewide level. You want to do an education thing, that's at the statewide level. Now, it doesn't mean that the states can't communicate and try and work together to come up with the best ideas of, hey, we do this really good, and hey, you do this really good. What are you doing here? That doesn't mean you can't do that. At the same time, though, Department of Education, are you kidding me? The Department of Energy, Environmental Protection Agency, are you kidding me? None of that, none of it is actually constitutional according to the original interpretation of the Constitution. We got about a minute before the bottom of the hour. Let's sneak in a phone call here, shall we? Line number 1. Good morning. Who's this?
Scott.
Hey, good morning, Scott. How are you?
Well, it seemed to me that for some reason they're not, at least the news people aren't reporting it correctly, but they're trying to say this CNN guy, the reporter, he's trying to say, well, I'm going to go to the judge, and the judge is saying this. And, see, they got a problem with jurisdiction because, see, all of these district judges have a certain jurisdiction that they're over.
Sure.
And if you challenge that jurisdiction, they have to prove that they even have a right to hear a case like that, and they can get in trouble for hearing cases that's out of their jurisdiction. So for them to try to interfere at the executive branch level, especially in the White House, where the president has the jurisdiction, they're liable to get themselves in trouble. So any judge who thinks they can challenge the president in the executive branch is looking for a real fall, because all they have to do is just challenge his jurisdiction over it and his questionable power in that case. So they better just challenge the jurisdiction of the judge, and then, hey, you prove that you got even power over this subject matter.
There you go. Scott, I appreciate it. There are some judges that can obviously make rulings on there as a nationwide type of issue. But you're right, there are some that have to stay within their jurisdiction. More coming up. Stay here.
QAM News Center.
The Trump administration cannot carry out the president's order to refuse asylum to immigrants crossing illegally into the U.S. That's the ruling of a federal judge after hearing arguments saying U.S. law clearly allows someone to seek asylum regardless of how they enter the country. The official death toll in Northern California's massive wildfire continues to climb. Correspondent Paul Verkaman is in what's left of the town of Paradise.
This morning, we now know that 79 people have died, the remains identified in the campfire. They found another body in a structure in Paradise. They also found one outside.
The list of those unaccounted for dropped around 300 names the last 24 hours, now at about 700. Japanese prosecutors are holding Nissan Motor Company chairman Carlos Ghosn as they consider whether or not to charge him with financial misconduct. Wall Street stock futures on a steep slide this morning, and the L.A. Rams beat the Kansas City Chiefs 54-51 in Monday Night Football. I'm Michael Toscano.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Call 800-319-8464. That's 800-319-8464. Again, 800-319-8464.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans, America's premier home purchase lender. We've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. Our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days. Then, if rates go up, your rate stays locked. But if rates go down, your rate drops. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Tuesday. A federal judge says he won't immediately rule on whether to allow testimony from Somali immigrants who lived at a Garden City apartment complex targeted in a bomb plot. Defense attorneys for 3 men convicted in the plot have asked that the Somalis' victim impact statements be barred from the sentencing hearing. The judge said during a hearing yesterday that he couldn't recall ever denying someone the right to be heard. The state of Kansas will pay $75,000 to settle a lawsuit alleging the Department of Children and Families failed to intervene to protect an 18-month-old girl who eventually died. The Topeka Capital Journal reports that Jayla Hagg died in 2012 from blunt force injuries to the head. The girl lived with her mother in El Dorado. The suit filed by the father, Stephen Waters, accused the agency of ignoring warning signs. Kansas Mid-America Network News.
There it is, Black Friday, and I know everybody has a sale. But at Rustiak Ford, our sales are always bigger. Now through November 30th, get up to 30% off a new Ford Focus. Ford Escape, 25% off, or choose 0% for $72 and $1,000 back. F-150 XLTs up to 25% off, or our exclusive 0 for $72. So come gobble up the savings at Rustiak Ford. If you don't come and see us today, we can't save you any money.
Jewelry Savers started out over 4 decades ago and today is still run by family. In fact, it's become a Wichita tradition. This coming Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Check out Jewelry Savers at K96 in Greenwich from 10 to 4 p.m. with doorbusters, holiday treats, in-store festivities, and even Santa in store for pictures with the kids from 11 to 1. If it's jewelry on your list, it's Jewelry Savers. Easy financing and layaway available. Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattresses from Derby Mattress. You consumers have validated what the experts have already known. Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattresses outlast the memory foams, and Derby Mattress customers have reported back the best night's sleep ever. Cooler, better, more comfortable sleep, and right now at Derby Mattress, with the purchase of your Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattress, a free basic adjustable base. Simmons Beauty Rest and Serta Eye Comfort on sale now too. Derby Mattress, 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, sunny and clear, high near 51, low tonight around 33. Tomorrow, sunny and clear, high near 56, low around 37, sunny and 57 for Thanksgiving Day Thursday, chance of rain Thursday night after midnight. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
If Andy drives you nuts,
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
let him know. Call the show, 721-8255. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
35 minutes past the hour. Welcome into the Voice of Reason. I love it. It is a Tuesday. We are just days away before one of the greatest holidays of the entire year, as you get to indulge yourself. Here's my tradition. We'll talk about this tomorrow, as tomorrow is going to be a lighter day for sure. Really no politics tomorrow. A little bit of politics. A little bit. We do have U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo coming on. That's kind of political to some degree, but I am thankful for that. You want to talk about being thankful? I'm thankful for the fact that, our U.S. Secretary of State, has requested to come on to the Voice of Reason because he misses the program. And probably the only local market radio that's actually going to get him in the entire country. So we are very honored for that. I am very lucky and very thankful for something like that. But tomorrow we're going to keep it relatively light. We'll talk about the Thanksgiving stuff. We'll have stories. We do have the politics behind Thanksgiving. Yeah, we'll do some of that tomorrow, so stay tuned in for that. 316-721-8255. Scott brought up an interesting point, and I'm glad that he mentioned that because I did want to segue into it. As you know, the latest, of course, is the story that the federal judge, now shocker, here's the big news, shocker, there is a progressive judge, a liberal judge in the country trying to block what Donald Trump is doing. Shocker! Shock warning! I know, it's never happened before, right? Now you know what was going to happen. Did we not say this? Did we not say it? So what was going to happen was that he was going to threaten it, they were going to get to the border, then a judge was going to challenge it, and then that way, even if they tried to cross the border, then they still get to have asylum until we challenge it, but the rule stays in place, the standing stays in place until we actually get it challenged and we get it overturned. But until then, everybody that goes through that process are the ones that are going to get asylum, even if they came into the country illegally. I told you that was going to happen. Did we not call it? Did we not call it? It happened now. They got to the border. Now they're trying to cross the border. Now the judge comes out and makes the ruling. Now we have to contest it, and it has to go back into review, and everybody has to look at it before it gets reversed. But until it gets reversed, then everybody that comes across the border illegally then still gets to claim asylum. We said this was going to happen just days ago, weeks ago, really, is when we made that prediction, and voila. It's like we're magical on this show. It's like we're magical. In the blow to Trump's immigration agenda, federal judge blocks asylum ban for migrants who enter the country illegally from Mexico. Now, again, and we had a caller at that time that said, Andy, you can't just block them. They have to come into the country in order to get asylum. No, they don't. If Donald Trump warns and says, hey, there's a process, stay by the gate, apply for asylum, we'll get you processed, we'll do the vetting, we'll see whether you come into the country properly or not, or whether you get to remain in the country, or whether we deny you. Whatever the case is, you have to come through appropriately. And if you break the law, if you come into the country illegally, then that means you don't have the best interest of this nation, and you will not be qualified to be able to get asylum. Why are we rewarding someone who breaks the law? Why are we doing it? Why do we say, sorry, you're not allowed to come into the country illegally, but then you come in illegally, we arrest you, and then you claim asylum? If you remember the very first day when the first quote-unquote wave of the caravan came to the border, and they were sitting there, and the media having a frenzy about this. They loved the fact that there were people just climbing up to the top of the fence and just hanging out there, and they were on the border wall, and they were just hanging out, and they were watching everybody else, and they were just kind of swinging their legs and having a good time, and they were sitting on the top of our fence. And there were comments saying, Andy, it doesn't matter that they were breaking the law, because I asked where are the law enforcement, where's the military, where's the border patrol, where are these people when we see these people climbing the wall? The media's there reporting it, and yet we don't have any law enforcement officials there to round them up. Any of them. Shoot rubber bullets at them. Arrest them. Run them off. Do what you have to do. They're breaking the law. And by the way, they're not women and children, because women and children would not be able to climb that wall as these individuals did. They were young males who were climbing the wall and having a good old time doing it. Where's law enforcement? Andy, they were arrested. Okay, sure, they were arrested, and then what did they do? They claimed asylum. So now they get asylum. After breaking the law, after coming here illegally, after jumping the fence, they get arrested because they did something bad, but then they claim asylum, so then they get to stay and they're not going anywhere. So, shocker, we said exactly how this was going to happen, exactly how it was going to happen. And the fact that the judge would wait until the caravan had arrived, and that some judge would make the judgment to say, hey, that's illegal, not allowed to do that, not allowed to block the asylum seekers from actually claiming asylum, even if they come into the country illegally, not allowed to do that. which is complete BS, as you know. I mean, we read the federal code on what makes you eligible in order to do so. You have to come in properly. You have to go through the requirements. You have to go through the procedures. You have to actually go through the process of what the Secretary of State or Secretary of Homeland Security or the Attorney General set in order for you to be able to apply for asylum seeking. You have to go through that. And if you don't, then you're not eligible, which means you get denied. And if you break the law, that means you're not setting the requirements and you're not going through the procedures, which means you break the law, which means you're not qualified. We already said this. So what happens is that they have to contest it. It goes to another judge, or it goes to the courts. Then they make the decision. But in that time, as we try and contest it, and we have to do the hearings, and we have to hire attorneys, and we have to fight this like we always do, let's get it tied up in court. But until then, everybody that breaks the law gets asylum. This is the sick part of our process. Sickening. Absolutely sickening. It turns my stomach how ridiculous our laws are sometimes. We need to say the president has the right to say, I'm enforcing the law. This is how I'm enforcing it. Is that if you break the law, then you don't get to actually get the permission to come in as an asylum seeker. You're not going to go through that process. You've shown that already you cannot abide by our laws. You've already shown that you are not here for the best interest of the nation, and it shows that you are not here for the best intention for yourself. You're not going to be eligible to get the asylum. End of story. He should have the right to do that. The president should have the right to do that. But the courts try and block it. We knew this was going to happen. It's no surprise. Your thoughts on it? 316-721-8255. Line number 1. Let's go back to the phones here. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Scott again.
Hey, Scott. What's going on?
When you have any time there's the word district in front of the title of a judge, that means he's got limitations. And every judge got limitations when it comes to the subject matter of their jurisdiction. So if he can't prove that he's got jurisdiction over the subject matter, then he's working outside of his parameters of what he's supposed to be able to enforce. So until he can prove that, and that don't matter what judge it is, you know, the only ones that got overall power like that is the Supreme Court judge. But all these other judges with district in the title, they have to prove the subject matter before they can say, okay, I rule this and this is supposed to stick. No, that's not how it works. And all they have to do is challenge that judge on the subject matter, and he's got to prove that, and he can't do anything past that until he proves that he has the jurisdiction to rule in that case.
Well, there are federal judges, there are federal courts other than the U.S. Supreme Court that do look and review at federal laws and federal cases. And these are a lot of the judges that end up doing a lot of these reviews. Now, if it goes higher than that, then it does go to the Supreme Court as well. But there are federal judges and there are federal courts outside of the U.S. Supreme Court that's not quite to that level because obviously the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land. But there are federal courts and federal judges that do judge on federal law as well to try and keep that whole balance between the judicial branch and the executive branch as well. So there is some of that, but the point that I want to focus on is the fact that, you know, these are not ones that are actually using federal law and their interpretation of the federal law in order to make the proper judgment here. It is left-wing progressive liberal courts and liberal judges who make these things in a timely manner, coincidentally, right as the time that the migrant caravan actually reaches the United States. They knew what was going to happen here. They knew that we have to contest it, but until we contest it, their law stands and their judgment stands. So everybody gets the asylum until we get it overturned and until we actually go to court to fight this, because the liberals understand that their greatest asset is fighting everything in court that takes time, that takes money, that takes energy, that takes us away from actually focusing on the real issues, that they understand that's what holds up the country, and they do this conveniently right as the time that we actually need this to happen, and it's liberal judges wanting to make an example out of President Donald Trump. It's kind of like how we see the federal courts that actually make the federal judges that make the example out of Chris Kobach. You need to go back and actually do remedial legal classes again because you need to remember how to represent yourself in the court of law. You need to pay for your own legal suits by yourself because how dare you make the state pay for these sorts of things. We need to do this to you. We need to do that to you. And the liberals say, the courts did that. Obviously, Chris Kobach doesn't know what he's doing. No. They're liberal judges that don't like his agenda that try to make an example out of him. That's what the issue is here. That's why the Second Amendment Protection Act here in Kansas, if you remember, the U.S. government came down on us, said, no, you know what? We don't know. We can just decide to just look the other way because there's many other states that do the same kind of thing, ignoring federal law. We have California trying to become a sanctuary state against federal immigration law. Are we cracking down on them? No. They're ignoring federal immigration law. Federal law. All we said was that we're going to reinforce the Second Amendment, and whatever outside the outside of the Second Amendment itself, we're going to decide on our own. And that we're going to choose to buy, sell, trade, and manufacture firearms and gun accessories in the state of Kansas within state limits without having to get a license for them or without having to register them. That's all we did. And they said, nope, we're not only going to enforce that, we're going to make an example out of you by taking it to court and punishing you, Kansas, for doing something like that. Because it's a political agenda from left-wing progressive courts. That's what we need to start fighting here. The fact that the courts have more power than anybody else in this nation right now, whether it's some of the legislation here in the statewide issues, with state sovereignty, like we talked about in the first half hour, or whether it's something like this with the president trying to make an immigration decision and say, oh, hey, look, you're not allowed to actually get asylum because we're not going to allow you to do so since you broke the law. And the federal courts, nope, can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. No. Okay, what's your prerogative? It doesn't matter. I'm a federal judge. I'm going to interpret the law this way. Challenge me. Okay, that's going to be 6 months in court. But until then, everybody that breaks the law, they still get the asylum seeking. This is the frustrating part of our court system, is it not? Let's go back to the phones here. Line number 2. Good morning. Who's this? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, yeah. How we doing?
I'm doing good, Andy.
Hey, good.
I was trying to watch you this morning on 2610, and you're blocked. You ain't on.
Yeah, they are. They're working on some things on their end, working on some different computer upgrades and working on some technical things. So it may be a few days or a week or so, but they are working on getting it back up. They're just doing some maintenance things on their end.
Okay, well, I thought they was blocking you.
Well, who knows? Hopefully they're not blocking me. I mean, I'm already getting shadow banned on social media. Hopefully we're not doing that on TV, too.
My son went through YouTube and put you on a TV.
Hey, there you go. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for that.
So they can, anybody that wants to watch you can do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. Well, also on the border thing, he's talking about the asylum seekers. Well, they turned down asylum in Mexico, if everybody will remember.
Yes.
So they're not asylum seekers, in my opinion, because they already turned it down once.
Right.
Are they going to get in here and turn it down here too?
Well, they want to come into the United States, but they realize that, I mean, Mexico isn't, first off, Mexico isn't the best place to take asylum, although Mexico did offer it to them. But Mexico is so upset with them as well. If you see, I mean, right now we have the people of Tijuana really throwing a ruckus saying we don't want them, go back to your own country. They're starting to realize, hey, these people are going to be rabble-rousers and troublemakers. We don't want you in our country. And it's maybe, just maybe, some people here are going to say, wait a second, maybe we should feel the same way if Mexico's throwing a fit about this. Maybe we should look into it a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, still, the fact is they turned it down once, so they should be not allowed in because that's not what they're after.
Sure.
And also let everybody know they can watch you on the TV through YouTube.
Hey, I love that. I appreciate that very much. That's fantastic. Just hook up the YouTube right to your TV. We actually do our Xbox Live, or the Xbox 360 that we have. You can do the Xbox Live and you can do YouTube. So there you go. Bring it up on there and just watch it straight on your TV through the YouTube. Go to youtube.com, find KQAM Radio. We actually have a lot of people on there this morning, which we love and appreciate. So thank you for that. If you're right. Yes, we're not on KGPT TV right now. They are doing some things. I don't know when we're going to be back on there, but they are working on some internal things from their end. So if you miss watching the show, go to YouTube and you can watch the YouTube Live. So I appreciate that very, very much. Still, people wanting to watch the show, so just bring it up on YouTube. I love it. Appreciate that. Let's go back to it here. Line number 3. Good morning. What's your name?
Hey, Andy. It's Deacon. How you doing?
Good morning, sir. What's going on?
Oh, it's a beautiful day out here, brother.
Yeah, buddy. It is a little bit, well, I don't know if it's warmer, but at least it's not like 10 degrees outside.
Right? It's beautiful. Hey, I got to know, because isn't there some kind of criteria to be met in order to claim asylum? Like somebody's trying to kill you, you're being religiously persecuted or something. Not just you voted for the wrong guy and now your country sucks.
Yes, you have to be persecuted in some way, shape, or form, whether it is, religiously or a social group or a political opinion. If you try and voice your political opinion, you get persecuted for that. You have to have some type of persecution happening in your country, like some kind of genocide or something crazy happening in your nation, for you to say, my life is at risk based on my race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular group, or my political opinion, and I need help because I need protection from what's happening in my country.
Yeah, and my understanding is that their country just sucks because they kept voting in socialist. So they went from a pretty nice country to a third world crap hole because the people they voted for. Hey,
well, they bounce back and forth.
Live with it.
You're right. They bounce back and forth between socialism, saying the government take over everything, to fascism, which is kind of one and the same to some degree. But they see their fascism. They see their fascism as capitalism, which is not in any way, shape, or form. It's their crony capitalist fascist society, to where they kind of go back and forth from one extreme to the other, to saying either government take care of everything, to, oh no, let's privatize everything and have the corporations use the government for their benefit to take advantage of the people. And then they get upset and then they ruin their country, which is what they've been doing for decades down in these areas. And then they say, oh, you know what, our country's crap, now we need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and as far as the judges go, Trump needs to lay the smackdown on some, liberal activist judges and show them, hey, I got a bigger stick than you. Because, they're three equal but separate branches of government, but everybody thinks that the courts are the end-all, be-all, whatever they say goes, and that ain't the way it works.
Well, that is true. The big question is, how do we do that?
Well, he is the head of the executive branch. Tell the people who work in the executive branch to ignore those judges.
Sure.
The same way that Obama did it.
Yeah, come after us. We're the executive branch. We choose how to enforce the laws. This is how I'm going to enforce the law, and if you don't like it, too bad, so sad. You're right. We have to get back to the point to where the courts, whether it's a federal judge or whether it's the Supreme Court, they give an opinion on these things. They are not the executive. They are not the legislatures. They're not the ones that create the law or the ones that say this is the end-all, be-all. They give an opinion on the law. Well, now we should say, thanks for the opinion. We're going to go do our thing now.
Yeah, unelected black robe legislators are getting way too rampant in this country, and they need to be set down.
Hey, I agree with that one, Deacon. I love it. Appreciate it very much. Remember, Section 8 of Federal Code is, when it comes down to Part B here, burden of proof. The burden of proof is that the applicant is to establish that the applicant is a refugee within the meaning of Section 1101 of this title. To establish that the applicant is a refugee within the meaning of such section, the applicant must establish that race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion was or will be at least one central reason for persecution of the applicant. You have to prove. Now, I don't know if you're a male and you're coming up here from Central America and you have a crap country that's run by socialists while we come to a nation here that wants to turn it into socialist. I'm not sure how saying that your race, religion, nationality, membership of a certain group or political opinion is being persecuted down there. You could say maybe, political opinion. I don't follow their politics as much, so maybe you're getting persecuted to some degree, but I have a really hard time with that when you're being led by an organization that's organizing the caravan of it, saying that we are People Without Borders as the organization. That is a political group trying to say that we should have the right to go into any nation that we want to without persecution. So the easiest way for us to get in is just say, asylum, I'm a refugee, please come and save me. It's not the way it works. 316-721-8255. Back to the phones here, line number 1. Good morning, who's this?
Hello, Andy, this is Joshua.
Josh, what's going on, sir? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I haven't tuned in for a while, so today I thought I would, and I'd like to ask you a few things.
You bet. Go for it.
Okay, this is a little off subject, but, it's not only our government doing these things, it's also these corporations. My wife been working for a company called Maximus through a staffing agency called West Staff. She put in 40 hours of straight time, 19 hours of overtime last week, and
wow.
they somehow or another, this money got put on a plastic card. As soon as it was put on, somebody had started taking the money away, hacking it. And they're refusing to pay her. So I don't really understand. What is your take on that? When somebody works all week long and puts in 19 hours of overtime for a company such as Westaff,
sure,
and the employer claims no liability, no responsibility, nor does the third party issuer of the funds on the card. What kind of country are we really living in?
Now so it's like a prepaid, like a loaded card that instead of getting a paycheck or a deposit into a checking account, it goes onto a prepaid card sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
Very interesting. They get paid, it goes on there, but then when your wife looked at the card, not all the money was there. Now, was it there in the first place and it disappeared, or did it just not get loaded on there properly?
Well, no, it got loaded on properly. We checked, and the moment $636 actually was loaded onto the card, somebody started making purchases online with it.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow, that's a sad deal. Now, what's it through? Is it through like a Visa or MasterCard or something that has this automation, this auto-loadable card?
Yeah, it's called ComData.
ComData, okay. Boy, oh boy, there's got to be some type of fraud protection or something on there that if there's some kind of scammer going off there, that there's got to be some way to try and contest it, at least to try and get some of that money back. Is there not?
You would think so. We were told that the only way we could pursue it was to do a dispute through the credit card company, but they said they're not a bank.
So, isn't it?
Oh God, yeah, and we're living week from week.
Yeah, boy, that's a horrible deal there. I mean, I've had the same to some degree, to where I've had the fraud come off of a debit card, which is really scary, especially when you go into the bank and then you try and pay your monthly bills, and then you had the fraud on your debit card and you can't do anything until like 3 months later when they actually credit your account. I don't know much about those auto-loadable cards. I'll have to look into that, but let me do a little research on something like that and see if there's anything that can be done other than contesting it and waiting a few months to get it. That's a scary deal right there. I mean, that's terrible, especially working 19 hours of overtime. You kind of work the overtime because you need the overtime, and then you see the money kind of disappear on that one. Josh, thanks for the heads up on that. Let me look into that just a little bit, because that's a scary deal. And I just realized that we didn't even take a break at the 45. Wow. Well, hey, you know what? Time flies when you're having fun. We'll make it up in hour number 2. Lots more to get to. Hour number 2 of The Voice of Reason coming up here. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
Cholita's Mexican Restaurant reminds you.
You know it's coming. It's inevitable. It happens every year at this time. And once again, here it comes. Turkey.
Turkey casserole.
Turkey pot pie.
Turkey sandwich.
Turkey dinner.
Turkey spice latte.
Cholita's Mexican Restaurant has been Wichita's cure for turkey overload since 1986. Whether it's the Wednesday before Turkey Day or the Friday after, start a new family tradition with our family's tradition of serving great Mexican food. Central and Tyler in the Westlink Shopping Center. Celebrate at Cholita's Mexican Restaurant.
Hey, Mark Walters with Armed American Radio, and I want to tell you about Rob's Gun Tech and Firearms. They're the dealer to buy, sell, trade, and even consign. Budget, the high-end, custom firearms, ammo, accessories, they've got it all and feature Wilson Combat, Gun Crafters Industries, and Nighthawk Custom. Have a request? Work with their in-house gunsmith, find the right solution for you. Rob's Gun Tech offers pricing programs and discounts and proudly gives back to the Veteran Suicide Network. Learn more today at robsguntechandfirearms.com or visit them just east of 159th North on East Kellogg, where they know more than just the price.
Broadcasting from the Rusty Eck Ford Studios. Rusty Eck Ford, family owned, customer friendly. This is the Big Talker, 102.5 FM and 1480 AM, KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Augusta Flight Center, with the largest and most diverse fleet of rental aircraft in central Kansas. Learn more at iflyaugusta.com.
Good Tuesday. Sedgwick County firefighters battled a house fire in Mays overnight, which broke out near Park Avenue and Mikado. KWCH-TV reports firefighters believe the fire had been burning for quite some time before they were called, as the residence is located in a primarily industrial location. No people were home at the time, and no injuries were reported, though 3 of 4 pets in the home perished in the fire. No word yet on what caused the fire or a loss damage estimate. If you live in Wichita, you could soon be paying a little bit more for water and sewage. Wichita City Council proposing a water and sewer rate increase to help fund a new water treatment facility. The city says the project carries a price tag of about $524 million, and most of the funding for it could come through loans, and the proposed rate increase would help support the new facility. The proposed rate hike would increase residents' monthly bills by about 7.7%. KWCH-TV reports over the next 10 years, a bill of $65 currently would increase to more than $100 according to the projected hikes. The city council expected to meet today to discuss the proposal. The man convicted of attacking a jogger near 10 years.
You would think so. We were told that
more than 25 years in prison. Police say an 18-year-old woman was jogging on a bike to meet today.
Yeah, it's called calm data.
A clean back in March when she was approached by 36-year-old Ronald Niddle, who attempted to sexually assault her. A City of Wichita employee was nearby and helped stop the attack. The woman suffered minor injuries. Police found Niddle with the woman's phone and glasses that she had left behind. The attorney who represents Sedgwick County, Eric Yost, resigned yesterday. He reached an agreement with the county commission during a special meeting yesterday morning. Under the agreement, Yost will receive just over $77,000 to cover 6 months of salary and benefits. From the news desk, I'm Rick Everett. We now turn it over to the sports desk and Doug Downs.
The Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Los Angeles Rams 54-51 in a shootout last night. Patrick Mahomes did have 478 yards and 6 touchdowns, but had 2 fumbles, one that was returned for a touchdown, and 3 interceptions. Justin Houston said it is not just one guy's fault.
It's 11 guys on the field. We're not going to put it on one guy. It's a team effort. No one guy don't win the game.
The Kansas City Chiefs now head into a bye week. In the Paradise Jam last night, the Kansas State Wildcats beat the Missouri Tigers 82-67 to stay 5-0 on the season. From the Sports Desk, I'm Doug Downs.
You can't handle the truth.
Hi, this is Phil Martinez at Phil's Coins. At the shop, we talk all the time about honesty and integrity. And in our shop, we've decided that honesty means nothing without integrity. So what I would tell you is that if you didn't bring your coins to Phil's Coins, honestly, you didn't get enough money for what you have. Come see us at Phil's Coins, 9344 West Central, or online at philscoins.com.
Oh, Christmas tree, it's getting cold and chilly. Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie. He has trees both short and tall, so come on out and see them all. Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie.
Experience a family tradition of choosing and cutting a Christmas tree direct from the farm. 4C Christmas Tree Farm has a large selection of live Scotch and Austrian pine trees, fresh green wreath ribbons, and bows. 4C Christmas Tree Farm is located at 11501 East Creed Street, just 5/8 of a mile south of Pawnee on Greenwich Road and 1/4 of a mile east on Creed. They're open the Friday after Thanksgiving and all Saturdays 9 till dark and Sundays noon till dark, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays 2 till dark, or give Willie a call at 684-0464. Experience the tradition. 4C Christmas Tree Farm.
Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie.
The latest news from the Big Talker, KQAM. The Trump administration cannot carry out the president's order to refuse asylum to immigrants crossing illegally into the U.S. That's the ruling of a federal judge after hearing arguments saying U.S. law clearly allows someone to seek asylum regardless of how they enter the country. The official death toll in Northern California's massive wildfire continues to climb. Correspondent Paul Verkaman is in what's left of the town of Paradise.
This morning, we now know that 79 people have died. The remains identified in the campfire. They found another body in a structure in Paradise. They also found one outside.
The list of those unaccounted for dropped around 300 names the last 24 hours, now at about 700. Japanese prosecutors are holding Nissan Motor Company chairman Carlos Ghosn as they consider whether or not to charge him with financial misconduct. Wall Street stock futures on a steep slide this morning, and the L.A. Rams beat the Kansas City Chiefs 54-51 in Monday Night Football. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Derby Mattress. No dancing animals, no gimmicks. your locally owned hometown mattress store at 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, sunny and clear, high near 51, low tonight around 33. Tomorrow, sunny and clear, high near 56, low around 37, sunny and 57 for Thanksgiving Day Thursday, chance of rain Thursday night after midnight. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 7:06, it's currently 25 degrees.
It's time for Reason.
Now we can move forward and we can do something really fantastic here. If we can light the fire under our legislature, if we can get Republicans on board to do the right thing, to not play wishy-washy politics, to not coddle to the education special interests, maybe we can get our budget under control. We're now prepared to understand that everything we do, we have to do with a supermajority to override her veto, because she's going to veto just about everything that the legislature does.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. We do it every single day. Welcome into the Voice of Reason, hour number 2 of the Voice of Reason, broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas. On the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We are simulcasting, not on TV, KGPT TV, channel 26N. They're working on some things on their end, but we are on YouTube Live at youtube.com. Just find KQAM Radio. You can stream it, as we had the caller from last hour saying, hey, you know what? We plug in our YouTube right to the TV, and we broadcast you on there, so you're still on TV. We love it. Thank you so much. We appreciate that each and every day. We do have a lot of people jumping on this morning, as you know, we're not on TV, so you get a chance to still watch us on YouTube. And maybe you have the time off. Maybe it's the holidays for you. You officially hit your holiday mode. We're going to keep it kind of light and hearty to some degree, but at the same time, we have a lot to get to. Tomorrow, we'll do our Thanksgiving special on the program. Plus, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will be joining us. I'm really excited for that, so stay tuned in tomorrow. Today, in about 20 minutes, we do have Bryan Frye, Wichita City Council member, joining the program as he does every Tuesday. Looking forward to that. 316-721-8255. The last caller in the last hour talking about the theft going on with the his wife worked about 19 hours of overtime, got a bunch of money. It got auto-loaded onto the prepaid card thing from Comdata. And as soon as the money was loaded on there, kind of the money went out. Now, I did a quick little search on Comdata to see some details on them, and it sounds like, unfortunately, there's a lot of fraud that goes on with this Comdata company, this Comdata Corporation. I go onto their BBB, Better Business Bureau rating, and their rating's actually very low because there is a lot of fraud complaints. There's a lot of complaints on their BBB review page. All of them, they have a 1-star rating with the Better Business Bureau, or at least to Yelp.com, and in conjunction with their Better Business Bureau rating, they have a very low rating. So I think there's a lot of fraud that goes on with that company. I don't know what you can do about that, whether you get a lawyer, whether you try and fight it. They have a complaint line where you can call them. I'm sure you've already done that, and you can try and do something about it there. They had a story from 2011 about fuel cards that many companies were getting from Comdata, and fuel cards were being hacked all across the nation. So there's a lot of fraud that's gone on with them. That's a very scary thing, and I feel really bad for you on that one. So I don't know much about them. I don't know what else you can do. If anybody has any suggestions, maybe get a lawyer, whether you complain to them, whether you complain to the Better Business Bureau, whether you complain to the Labor Department, maybe. I don't know. And you can try and contest it, and hopefully you can get your money back. But again, if you do, it's going to be a while before you get that. That's a really scary thought to be in, but I really appreciate you getting that word out and letting us know, because, golly, I hate to see that. I mean, you obviously work hard to get the money to take care of the family, to do what you need to do, and then you lose the money and you got to fight to get it back. It's a never-ending struggle, isn't it? You work hard thinking you're getting ahead. You have to take 4 more steps back, and you have to fight tooth and nail just to come back and get it. So I feel for you very much, my friend. I'm really sorry that it happens, especially during the holidays, and hopefully you can get something back from that, because that's not right. Not right in any way, shape, or form. Open lines to you at 316-721-8255. Bryan Frye is our only guest for today. We have a lot more to get to throughout the show, and today also is our very last turkey drop. We'll be doing that presented by Yoder Meats coming up sometime in the show today, probably in the 8 o'clock hour, as we don't have a guest in the third hour today. But until then, let's go to the phones as the phones are lit up. Line number 1. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, Andy, this is Helen.
Hey, good morning, Helen. How are you?
I'm doing just great.
Good.
Well, talking about these wicked judges, in Article 3, Section 2, it says that the judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States. Well, he's not abiding by the law. This going against the executive office, the president. It says in Article 4, Section 4, the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion.
Sure.
And on the application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened. Well, obviously, our legislature's dropping the ball on not convening and protecting us against domestic violence. So he has every authority to protect every state of the union. It's a guarantee in our Constitution that we should be protected from these kind of invasions.
We should be, and you're right. If someone's coming into the country illegally, I would see that as an invasion, especially if it's a large mass of individuals jumping our fences and coming into the country illegally. Not women and children, because I'm pretty sure the women and children would not be able to climb that wall. But if it is a group of young men coming in mass, jumping our fences, I would see that as an invasion. But then, of course, the courts see it, and the progressives and the liberal Democrats see it as that if they get caught, then, safe space, word. It's like, again, we use the example of, if you ever watch Pirates of the Caribbean, it's parlay, and that was no matter what, then you have to take them to the captain, and you can't do anything to them until the captain decides and they have the discussion, but that's the safe word, parlay.
Yep.
And here, it's as soon as they get caught, asylum, you can't do anything to me. And I don't see why we would have a rule that President Trump can't make that just says, look, if you come into the country illegally.
The Constitution says he can't. The Constitution says that the executive office can protect us against invasion.
Sure.
And that's what he's trying to do. And they're acting in bad behavior. This particular judge is acting in bad behavior. He removed from office for acting in bad behavior because he's going against the Constitution. And also, why are we not putting that razor wire across the top of that wall?
Well, we're doing it, but we're doing it a day late and $1 short, and by the time that we're doing it in the wrong parts to where it's not going to matter, and people are jumping in other parts of it. So, I mean, again, the Democrats and the progressives are controlling the conversation day in and day out. They're controlling it because we said, did we not say, Helen, just a week ago that the court would try and contest this and that they would do it as soon as the caravan got here? So therefore, until we actually contest and try and overturn it, that anybody that comes across the border during this caravan process would come in and get asylum. Did we not say that?
Right. Yes, you were right again, Andy.
Yeah, well, it's unfortunate. Helen, I appreciate it. I hate it. I hate it. The fact that we can see this coming from a mile away and we can't do anything about it. We knew it was coming. We said it, that a judge would wait until they actually arrived for them to actually make a judgment on this, to try and overturn it, to block Trump, and then we have to contest it, and it takes 6 months in court, and then we can finally do something. But until then, all of the individuals jumping over the border illegally would get asylum. We knew it was going to happen. And you're right, the federal courts have been abusing their power for a long, long, long time. It is not the fact that they actually have any type of legal standing. It's the fact that all they have to do is say it and make a judgment for their political opinion, which the courts are not supposed to have political opinions, but they have their political opinion. They make the judgment, and then guess what? Now we have to fight it in court. And we have to make the case, and they have to make their case, then we have to have the hearings, we have to do this, we have to do that. It's ridiculous. The progressives control and dominate the conversation every single day, and I'm getting pretty tired of it. I really am. Let's go back to the phones here. Line number 2. Good morning. Who's this?
It's Jonah.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing, Andy?
More fun every day.
Well,
I got a comment on the guy with the credit card deal.
Yes.
So what he needs to do is he needs to get online on the account, the credit card account, or the debit card, or whatever it is,
Okay.
from the company he got paid for. Get the name of the businesses where all the money was spent, all the individual places where this money's being spent. Contact that company, or not contact that company. Get the name of the company and the transaction ID and the order numbers and all that.
Yes.
Write them down, get pictures. Then he needs to call the company where the orders were being placed at and try to see if he can talk to them, tell them what's going on, give them the order numbers and stuff, and say, hey, look, somebody's using my debit card. This is the order number. I don't know who it is. I need the information for the police or for the credit card company. And then he needs to take that information and call the credit card company or the debit card people and say, here, this is the transaction ID number. This is the company that it was used at, blah, blah, blah. And that'll kind of get him that may be able to get him a little bit faster information on who's spending the money. They probably won't tell him who's spending the money.
Well, sure, but maybe if
internally they may be able to do something amongst all themselves.
Well, if nothing else, I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, at least get the where the money's being spent, the order number, the tracking number, all that good stuff to at least turn it in when you try and do the reimbursements. But if it's still being processed,
Amazon's going to know their addresses. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
so
exactly.
They'll be able to tell the credit card company internally.
Well, and hopefully, if it's still being processed, they can cancel it and get the refund back on
yeah.
there before it's done. I don't know if that's the case or not.
If it's in transit, if the product's in transit still, they'll absolutely cancel that.
Sure.
And recall the product.
Yeah. It's a terrible ordeal, but try and get as much information, record all of it,
exactly.
And then if you're able to get some of that money back and get cancellation on that, I mean, I just feel so bad during the holidays. You're working.
That's what I got for you.
Yeah, no, hey, I appreciate it very much. I mean, I feel so bad. I mean, during the holidays, you're working the overtime trying to save the money, and then that kind of crap happens. People are sick in the world, are they not? They're just sick. But a company like this, it sounds like that they've had a lot of issues in the past and still haven't gotten cleaned up. I mean, 2011 was the story that I found about the fraud for gas cards, that many companies were getting gas cards for their employees, and then you see fraud across it for this comm data. It's unfortunate. I don't know if you can switch users for the prepaid card or the auto-load card. I don't know if you're able to switch that or if that's like a company thing, but good golly. Do what you can to try and prevent that from happening again. Let's go back to the phones here. Line number 3. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, salutations, Andy.
What's going on, Sean? How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. Man, I got a busy day today.
Yeah? What do you got?
I was just checking my to-do list, and the first thing, I get up, turn on the Andy Hoosier Show.
Yeah, well, hey, right there. I'm like that.
Enjoy nutritious breakfast consisting of a bowl of Rice Krispies with beer instead of milk.
Hey, you know what? I'm sure it adds the extra flavor. There's nothing wrong with that.
Let me see. Next, go to the liquor store, purchase adult beverages.
Hey, you got to get planned up for the weekend and for the holiday.
Return home, consume adult beverages while listening to talk radio and solving the world's problems.
You know, that is a very successful kind of day. That's what I'm talking about.
And if there's enough time left at the end of the day, complain bitterly to God about how I've been cheated so much in life and think I was a liberal Democrat.
You know, I got to say, and I mean, doesn't the adult beverage just enlighten the talk radio experience a little bit more as well?
Well, yeah, it does. It enlightens it a little bit more, but it also helps me as a critical thinker.
See, there you go. Think a little bit clearer at times.
I solve a lot of world's problems just sitting home drinking beer.
There you go. That's a good day right there. That's one of these days I want to get to that point where that's all I want to do is just sit at home and enjoy and indulge a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, let me make a quick comment.
Go for it.
See, what do I talk about? Man, there's so much to talk about, not enough time.
The deep philosophical comment by Sean.
Yeah, you know, let's see. Thanksgiving's Thursday, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what. I on the day when you're going to lighten it up, which I guess is tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun tomorrow. Although you're not going to want to miss it, I'm telling you. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will be joining the show live for about 5 or 6 minutes tomorrow as well. So we will keep it light, but at the same time, we got some pretty cool stuff going on tomorrow.
Well, see, you know me, I'm a nonconformist. When you're trying to be serious, I'm going to be a clown, and when you want to be funny, I'll be serious. See?
Well, that's
so
all
I'll
right.
probably get philosophical tomorrow. And today, just keep it lighthearted.
There you go. Well, you get as deep as you want to tomorrow. Sean, I love it, my friend. We got to take a break here, but I appreciate it very much. And, always keeping it entertaining for sure. Let's take a break. We got lots more to get to today. Plus, Bryan Frye, Wichita City Council member, will be joining us at 7:30 in just a few minutes here. The 8 o'clock hour is open lines to you. We have a lot to get to. I haven't even gotten to what I wanted to talk about with Kansas. The Kansas unemployment rate staying steady. They're now giving that credit to Laura Kelly, which I find kind of interesting. Plus, now they're saying that the cuts in the foster care program are what led to the disasters in the foster care program in Kansas, and how Laura Kelly has already fixed them before she's even become governor. We'll do all that and more coming up on the show today. Plus, our very last turkey drop of the season. Tomorrow, we get to give away our first Christmas tree. Hat tip to 4C Christmas Tree Farms. So still more goodies to give away during the festive holiday season. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Ag News from Mid-America Ag Network. I'm Craig Mead. American drivers have driven another billion miles, totaling 6 billion now, on E15, a fuel with 15% biofuel that's approved for all 2001 and newer vehicles. Growth Energy Vice President of Market Development Mike O'Brien says that milestone shows proof consumers want E15.
Consumers have driven more than 6 billion miles on E15, and what that demonstrates is that consumers are finding that it's a smart choice for their engine performance, cleans up the air a little bit, as well as they can frequently find it at a better value than other grades of fuel. And so they just keep coming back and they keep buying more, and the miles keep going up.
That milestone comes as President Trump recently vowed to move forward with plans to make E15 available year-round throughout the United States. O'Brien says allowing year-round sales of E15 blends allows for consumers to enjoy the fuel more.
This 6 billion miles is proof that consumers want the product, and they want to be able to use it regardless of the time of year. And so receiving that RVP relief for the product in the summertime will just aid with consumer adoption of the product as we go forward.
And he says E15 is a win for farmers suffering through a depressed economy.
Looking at long-term projections, we see the number of sites continue to grow that offer E15. The sites that offer E15 are very high volume sites across the United States in terms of gasoline, and we've seen the number of sites quadruple over the last several years, and so we anticipate that growth rate to continue, and especially when RVP is eliminated. So that means more demand for ethanol and more demand for the corn grown in the United States as well.
O'Brien says E15 is becoming easier to find as well. Ag News, Mid-America Ag Network.
What brings back memories of Christmas past or builds new ones for holidays to come? More than the beauty of a farm-fresh Christmas tree gracing your home? Or could be more welcoming than a live wreath greeting your holiday guests? What could be more beautiful? Winning a free one, of course. Listen to The Voice of Reason on KQAM mornings from 6 to 9 for your chance to win an incredible tree or wreath fresh from 4C Christmas Tree Farms. And get ready to enjoy the majesty of a great Christmas tradition with warmest holiday wishes from JD Aviation and Heartland Avionics of Augusta and KQAM.
At Starseed, we realize every farmer and rancher has a passion for conservation, which is why we offer conservation seeds. This season, let Starseed assist with your CRP, buffers, waterways, roadside projects, and any wildlife project you have in mind. Starseed works closely with landowners, dealers, and government agencies to ensure the best quality seed for all of your conservation needs. Call Starseed today at 800-782-7311 or visit our website at GoStarseed.com.
There it is, Black Friday, and I know everybody has a sale.
But at Rustiac Ford, our sales are always bigger.
Now through November 30th, get up to 30% off a new Ford Focus. Ford Escape, 25% off, or choose 0% for $72 and $1,000 back. F-150 XLTs up to 25% off, or our exclusive 0 for 72.
So come gobble up the savings at Rusty Egg Ford. If you don't come and see us today, we can't save you any money.
The warm feel of a fireplace, the smell of fresh-baked pie, an appetizing dinner with family and friends featuring beef. Nothing satisfies better than beef, and the selections you have this holiday season are endless. Roasts, steaks, barbecue brisket. This holiday season, serve your family beef. Brought to you by these beef supporters.
Beef gives you at least 10% of 10 essential nutrients, giving your body more of the nutrients you need. Sponsored by the Kansas Beef Council and by the Farmers and Ranchers of Kansas. Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattresses from Derby Mattress. You consumers have validated what the experts have already known. Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattresses outlast the memory foams, and Derby Mattress customers have reported back the best night's sleep ever. Cooler, better, more comfortable sleep, and right now at Derby Mattress, with the purchase of your Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattress, a free basic adjustable base, Simmons Beauty Rest, and Serta Eye Comfort on sale now too. Derby Mattress, 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
Welcome back into the program. 26 minutes past the hour. As we're wrapping up here this first little bit. Rocking and rolling for the day, advancing conservatism on a daily basis, waking you up the best way we know how to do so. By the way, we have a lot of people jumping on YouTube today. I love it. Keep going. YouTube.com. Find KQAM Radio. Subscribe to it. We had like 2 or 3 more new subscribers as of last night. So we thank you for that very, very much. As we mentioned, not on TV. For right now, it may be a little bit until we get back on TV, but just like we had some of the callers, just plug in your YouTube right on your TV and broadcast it that way. Do it on your computer, on your phone, on your TV, doesn't really matter. Hang out with us here each and every morning or on TV or on radio, obviously at KQAM. As we talk about this immigration issue and the judge that made the ruling saying, nope, you're allowed to break the law, you're allowed to come into the country illegally, and then when you get caught, then you can say the parlay word, and you can have your safe space, asylum, refugee, and then you get protected and we get to hold you. That's not okay. As we talk about the immigration discussion as a whole, according to KWCH, here's one for you that will get your blood boiling just a little bit. But a student at Emporia State University gets in trouble for using the term illegal alien. Oh, yes. Just for using the term illegal alien. A post supporting Chris Kobach for governor. Emporia State University student body vice president faces backlash for the term illegal alien. The Facebook post supporting Chris Kobach and the reaction to the national media headlines. She said the post listed the reason she thought Kobach was the best candidate for Kansas governor. It wasn't legal advice. It was just more of this is what we've seen. This is what we expect. After discussing the issue with the legal counsel, it came down to freedom of speech. The committee decided after meeting with the legal counsel to rescind the original statement. I don't think there's anything I could have done. I used the words in their correct terms. I used them in another phrase. It could have been the same reaction. So I think this is a very sensitive topic. How is it a sensitive topic to use the word illegal alien? If you come, look, let's break down the word, shall we? It's 2 words. It's very difficult for us, right? We got to think a little bit past just the words of saying, oh, it's a trigger and it makes us feel really uncomfortable, right? Yeah. 2 words. Alien, which is someone that's not native to here, someone coming in, and illegal, meaning they came to here illegally. It's a very complicated phrase, isn't it? It makes us think just a little bit. You got to remember, though, it's a university. Universities have their political agendas and have their own kind of safe space mentality. These are the ones where, according to the express.uk, that universities are now telling students in journalism and telling the professors not to use capital letters or caps when they're teaching the students because that might frighten the students into failure. Welcome to 2018, everybody. Bottom of the hour news coming up. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
Now back to the KQAM News Desk.
The Trump administration cannot refuse asylum to immigrants crossing illegally into the U.S. from Mexico. That's the ruling of a federal judge after hearing arguments in San Francisco. This as the Pentagon says it expects to start sending home soon some of the 6,000 troops sent to the border in October. The confirmed death toll in Northern California's wildfire has now reached 79, and in the southern part of the state, around Los Angeles, the Woolsey fire continues to burn. Jim Roop reports the coming rain is causing worry about mudslides there.
Residents are nervous about the now barren hillsides. There's already a warning issued before the rain comes to watch for falling debris along certain roadways and canyons. The soil is that unstable due to the hillsides stripped of vegetation from the fire. There's also a flood warning, even if a light amount of rain results, says L.A. County Fire Captain Tony and Brendan.
Got extreme risk of mud and debris flows even with very small rainfall.
Pre-market stock trading showing steep losses across the boards an hour before the opening bell. I'm Michael Toscano.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please call this toll-free number right now. 800-390-9528. That's 800-390-9528. By calling your addiction team, you're taking the first steps to recovery. The help you need could be one call away. 800-390-9528. Make the free call now. 800-390-9528. Your addiction team is a third-party advertiser for various treatment centers and placement networks. Individual results will vary. Visit youraddictionteam.com/terms for more information.
In a world where dynamic design meets vibrant styling, only one vehicle will rise. Introducing the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. From the engineers who brought you available super all-wheel control comes a touchpad controller, head-up display, and more. Audiences and critics agree with 0% APR for 72 months plus $1,000 cash back. The Eclipse Cross is a must-see. Now showing at a Mitsubishi Motors dealership near you.
Offer ends 11/30/18. Available through Ally Financial. Subject to approved credit and insurance. Price, terms, vehicle availability may vary. May not combine with factory cash rebate. See a dealership for details.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. Good Tuesday. Sedgwick County Commissioners will pay just over $77,000 to County Councilor Eric Yost in a separation agreement. Wichita Eagle reports that the agreement was reached yesterday. Yost has been on paid suspension since November 7th when he released details of the commission majority's effort to oust County Manager Michael Scholes and confirmed an FBI investigation of commissioners. The Federal Reserve says farm income continued to decline across the plains and western states this fall because crop prices remain weak. The Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City says more than half the bankers in the region say that farm income is lower than last year because of the ongoing trade dispute with China that has hurt crop prices. Bankers say farmers are borrowing more money because their costs are increasing at the same time that they are bringing in less income. Mid-America Network News.
The holidays bring friends and family together to tables filled with delicious food. Make the centerpiece of your holiday table smoked and cured meats from Yoder Meats. Ring in the holidays with our custom smoked turkeys, cured hams, or specialty meats like lamb, custom cut for your gathering. Stop by one of our 4 stores in Yoder or Wichita today and let our team help you find the right cut of meat to impress your holiday guests. From our holiday table to yours, taste the old-fashioned flavor at Yoder Meats.
Jewelry Savers started out over 4 decades ago and today is still run by family. In fact, it's become a Wichita tradition. This coming Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Check out Jewelry Savers at K96 in Greenwich from 10 to 4 p.m. with doorbusters, holiday treats, in-store festivities, and even Santa in-store for pictures with the kids from 11 to 1. If it's jewelry on your list, it's Jewelry Savers. Easy financing and layaway available. It's not even Thanksgiving time yet, so I'm not going to be the first one to drop the C word on the radio. But if you have someone on a gift list for any reason, might I suggest something that will stand the test of time? A quality timepiece from Scott Child's Old Time Clock Shop. Hundreds of clocks of every different size and style. While there's still time, take time. Scott Child's Old Time Clock Shop. In the heart of Riverside at 1946 West 13th Street. Scott Child's Old Time Clock Shop. 267-1925.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, sunny and clear, high near 51, low tonight around 33. Tomorrow, sunny and clear, high near 56, low around 37, sunny and 57 for Thanksgiving Day Thursday, chance of rain Thursday night after midnight. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 7:35, It's currently 25 degrees.
This segment of the Voice of Reason on KQAM brought to you by Riverside Cafe, home of the 3-pound burger and hand-cut fries, plus breakfast all day long. 2 Wichita locations and 824 North Baltimore in Derby. Riverside Cafe. Fake news on a daily basis.
I hope now you boys see that this is totally serial.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, welcome into the Voice of Reason. 36 minutes past the hour. Great to have you for the ride today on a Tuesday. We are just a few days away from the holiday. It may be why maybe many of you actually get the day off, get to enjoy a little bit. We are rocking on the Facebook Live or the YouTube Live feeds, youtube.com, KQAM Radio. You can also find the link on Facebook at Facebook KQAM, 1480 KQAM, or on the Voice of Reason, which, by the way, as well, the Voice of Reason page on Facebook, we are killing it, baby, when we got more likes, more people following the page, which we appreciate very much. So we're just growing all over the place on all social media. It is that time. We do it every single week right here on the show. Oh, wrong one. That's not the county time. It's time for our city. We built this city. Which, by the way, about that song, We Built This City, I heard that this week, today, it was #1 on the charts for 2 weeks in 1985. Today.
Now I'm really feeling old. Thanks,
See, isn't
Andy.
that awesome? Yeah, I wasn't even born at that time yet.
I had graduated high school and was in my freshman year of college. So, wow. Thanks for really making me feel old.
Was that the kind of music you were like digging at that time?
I was not a Starship fan. I'm
Really?
sorry. No.
Yeah,
No.
not a whole lot. What was your thing?
Man, I was into a lot of different things. Hip-hop, 80s rock.
Okay. The
metal.
edgier, like Metallica.
Yeah,
metal, yeah.
I did a lot of stuff.
Okay, all right.
Was not a country music fan, though, but I've grown to appreciate it.
Well, country music is really finicky. Like, I like the old school country, maybe like the 70s, 80s kind of stuff.
Oh,
a
the
little
classics,
bit of
the Merle
90s, yeah,
Haggard, the Hank Jr., yeah.
Exactly. I like that. The new stuff, I don't know what the hell that is.
It's soft rock.
Yeah, it is, or it's pop.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you, Taylor Swift is not country. I'm just saying.
Nope, you're
Yeah.
right.
Anyways, Bryan Frye, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Thank
Good to have you in here.
Absolutely.
We always love this every week. Thanksgiving coming up in a couple of days, but that doesn't mean that you guys are not having a meeting today, and actually a pretty big one.
Yeah, actually, with it being Thanksgiving, you're right. It does feel like a short week, but we have a very important meeting today. Some big things that we need to get wrapped up before we get to the end of the year as it starts to come to a close. We still have a lot of important projects. One thing that we have to continue from a meeting a few weeks ago was the hearing on the denial of the renewal application for the erotic sports bar. If you remember, we had
I love that term, the erotic sports bar. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an unusual meeting, right? Basically, this was a sports bar that was asking for their entertainment establishment license to be renewed.
Yes.
And the way our process works, the chief of police recommended to deny it. The next step then goes to the council for an appeal. We act as the quasi judicial capacity in this, and it's the process we have.
Sure.
So we had a hearing, and this is the first time that I've experienced this on my 3 years on council. It was a 5.5-hour hearing with testimony from our representation, their attorneys, opening statements, witnesses. It was really odd.
Sure.
We didn't finish. We asked for more evidence, and so it's coming back today to hopefully wrap this up and make a recommendation one way or the other.
So just to remind everybody, this is one that was kind of an after-hours venue.
It was
as well.
it was a regular sports bar.
Okay.
That had entertainment, dancing, music, and there were things that they were doing that were open after hours, illegally. Having employees or customers in there drinking, etc., and other related things. I mean, operating without of the boundaries of what they're supposed to, including nudity as part of the dancing, which is illegal in the city.
Things happen a little bit more than the dancing, potentially, kind of thing. Yeah.
So that's the case.
Right.
And for those reasons and more, the chief decided to recommend denial when they came up for their renewal.
Sure.
And so this has been a process that we have. So
what type of evidence do you think you guys are going to see today, and do you think you're going to be able to wrap it up?
So we got more evidence from the officers that were undercover, which, again, we don't want to reveal their identities due to the undercover nature. But
Sure.
So that's why they didn't testify at the hearing. We got more evidence, written testimony from them. We got additional police video from on the scene of the night that they were there observing some of these things.
Sure.
So that was additional evidence that we asked for.
Okay.
And so we had time to review it without taking more time in that meeting that day.
Sure. So what's the next step now? You're going to hear a lot of that evidence today. Is today going to be the deciding factor of you're going to renew the license or not?
Yeah, could be.
Okay.
I mean, that's the idea, is that we get to a resolution today, one way or the other.
Sure.
Obviously, we have to vote on it, so I don't know the rest of the council, what other evidence the client and their attorney may bring to light. If there is anything, other testimony that they didn't offer last time, they indicated that they wanted to. They may bring them this time. We'll have to wait and see. But the idea is today, hopefully, get to a resolution, whether to either approve the denial or some other course.
Kind of a fun conversation to be had there.
It's definitely an interesting one. It's one I never thought we'd experience. But again, it's the process we have, and so we'll see what happens.
Sure. Very good. Well, that'll be a big one.
Hopefully it won't take 5 hours like last time.
Hopefully it won't take 5 hours. You never. So, I mean, were there a lot of people coming in support or opposition of it one way or another?
No.
Or was it just listening to everything?
Yeah, it was just the way it was new territory. So we kind of had to feel it out and do it. In addition, we have 2 big Cargill projects. One is the issuance of IRBs for the protein headquarters. And this is the new facility that they built downtown, the $60 million headquarters. It's 170,000 square feet.
Sure.
The 800-stall parking garage. That is supposed to open, I think it's next week or the week after.
Very good.
So they've got employees in there. They've been moving in. This is to issue the IRBs for that facility. Again, it's a $60 million facility. The return on investment for this is 2.41 to 1, so it's well above what we require.
Sure.
I mean, again, this is keeping 800 jobs in Wichita, high-paying jobs at $60,000 a year, right in the core of our city. And again, to have the Cargill protein headquarters based in Wichita, that's a great win for us.
Sure.
The second Cargill project is the biodiesel facility that they have there at 13th and Hydraulic. They're rebuilding that, adding a bunch more equipment, machinery. That's about an $87 million improvement.
Okay.
And they're asking for IRBs on the property, not the equipment. That's not eligible. But the IRBs for the equipment or the facility itself. And again, that's salaries in the $80,000 to $100,000 a year. A significant investment. So in combined, Cargill is investing over $140 million right here in Wichita.
Sure.
Which is fantastic for us.
A lot of money.
And it's a very big deal to continue to have Cargill representing here in Wichita. So, and then the last big thing on our agenda today is what we've been talking about for weeks. I've been talking about it for years, and this is our water infrastructure facility. The Northwest Water Treatment Plant is a new project that we want to build to replace the existing water treatment plant we have downtown that is over 80 years old. This is
a little bit of an upgrade needed.
Yeah, and we've been putting millions of dollars into it every year in repair and keeping it working with baling wire and duct tape, and it's to the point where we really can't anymore.
Sure.
The structure is solid, but there's a lot of mechanical and a lot of other pieces that it's just, we don't want to be Flint.
Right.
Period. And we need to have clean water, not only for the 500,000 people that are serviced by that facility, but also all of our businesses, McConnell Air Force Base. This is the only water treatment facility we have, and we've ignored and delayed the investment in this infrastructure for too long.
Why do you think we have?
Because it's a big price tag.
Okay.
It's $500 million, and so that's going to take additional rate increase for that to happen. Water operates as an enterprise fund, meaning there's no additional taxes that go back to support are water and sewer facilities. It's entirely on the revenue it generates.
Sure.
And so when you're talking about a price tag that hefty, there has to be some rate increases.
There's nothing like, for the next 10 years, we just kind of set money aside from it a little bit and then, build that pot of gold up to be able to do this thing.
Because the water division is generating the minimum amount of revenue it needs to operate.
Sure.
All right, because it should be that way. It's a public utility.
Right.
It should not be a profit center. It
Right.
should be able to exist on what it needs to continue to operate. And part of that, though, has been this delay in building in the infrastructure.
Right.
And so it's gotten to a critical point. We're going to be able to take advantage of some very low-cost financing from the federal government that allows us to get, borrow about half of it, but we don't have to pay it back immediately, and we're getting extremely low rates. If we didn't have this option, we're looking at a 10% annual increase. This rate adjustment is, 7.7, but it's not only going to help us build a new water treatment plant, it's also going to allow us to rebuild a wastewater treatment plant down south, which it too has been needed replaced for a long time. And one of the things that project will do will hopefully clean up a lot of the odor issues that we have with Plant 2 down south. And so 2 significant infrastructure projects
sure.
That we're going to start with today with this. And again, it's a 7.7 rate increase. I get it. I'm not happy about it either. I know that if we would have done this several years ago, we might have been able to do it for less. But it's to the point of no return. If we don't do this now, we could get to a boiling water advisory at some point, which you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to be Flint, and you don't want to have 10% or higher rate increases. So this is one of those things that it's not as sexy as a performing arts center or a baseball stadium or a new highway.
But I like drinking water.
But it's the most important public service outside of police and fire that we have.
I was going to say, and have to start boiling all my water at home now.
All right, and then that's make for a really tough Thanksgiving, right? All right, everybody. I know we're trying to get ready for turkey so we can get in our food coma and everything, but I got to boil some water
first. I got to boil some water in the tub real quick here. Yeah, no, it's going to be good. So good. So you guys are working on the final approval of everything. What's the step here that you guys are working on now?
So today would be two items. One would be to approve the rate increase.
Okay.
And that would take effect starting in January. And then 2 would be phase 1 of the contract for the design build of the Northwest Water Treatment Plant. We went through an RFP process a few weeks ago and settled on one firm to get us to that 30% design build plan, which would also be on the timeline for the WIFIA financing approval by the feds.
Sure.
So we have to start that. That also, at the end of that, we would have a contract for phase 2 development so we could begin construction, and we would also set a guaranteed maximum price for the project. And so at that point, we would know, because we'd have 30% designed, we'd know what our costs are going to be, the scope of the project. All right, so now we set what is that GMP and say it's not going to cost us any more than this. Our goal is no more than $524 million. If we can get it lower than that through bids for the subcontractors and so forth, even better.
Right.
But by that point, that's where we would be.
It's going to be an interesting conversation today. You guys have a full slate of duties.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, but it's absolutely necessary.
Right.
And if we want to keep the companies like Cargill and Spirit and Koch Industries and the big employers here, Textron, if we're not making these type of critical infrastructure investments, they're not going to want to be here because they have to have that. And the same for attracting citizens to fill those jobs.
Right.
We enjoy some of the lowest water utility rates in the country already. And we've been blessed that we've had a tremendous staff that's been able to keep this facility running for 80 years. But again, it's to the point where it's critical.
Getting down to it. Now, when the rates go up and we do end up funding this, how long is it going to be, and then will they go back down afterwards?
So the idea with this, again, with the WIFIA financing, it starts out up front, that 7.7 is high, but that's the highest it would ever be.
Okay.
So that's, I believe, 2 years, and then it starts to lower. So that by the year 10, we're looking at a 3% annual increase, and then beyond that, hopefully, very minor.
tier step itself.
But again,
down.
going down year after year, because we're going to be more efficient with our operations. We're going to have redundancy in our water source. We're not going to be spending millions on just maintenance and upkeep.
Right.
We're still going to spend money on maintenance and upkeep, but not repairs and projects that we don't need to be doing because we'll have a brand new facility.
Sure.
So, but yes, the idea is that over time that number just continues to drop.
Very good.
So
it's going to be a fun conversation. If people want to show up to the meeting today, how can they do so?
So again, City Hall is located at Central and Main. Meeting starts at 9 a.m. We enjoy everyone to come down and hear, the city's business, your business being done. We always like to have an audience. It's nice to see the folks out there and hear their input. And I'm so thankful that you allow us to come on every week and do this show and to help get the word out. These are the type of things that I was talking about when I ran for office, this infrastructure stuff. And I'm pleased that we're getting to that point where it's going to be a reality because this is generational.
Sure.
We've been, very blessed to have this system working the way it's supposed to for 80 years. But if we don't take care of it, there's not going to be another opportunity. So
exactly. No, it is really important. We need to handle and address these things now, and hopefully not wait until the last minute on other things, and not wait for 80 years to change our water processing.
Right, and again,
that's a little important. A little bit.
That's right.
I love it. Bryan Frye, Wichita City Council member. Thanksgiving, big plans for the weekend.
I've got to take my daughter and her friend to a concert,
a
watch
a concert, right?
No, it's her favorite band, 21 Pilots.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And then just a lot of family. We host Thanksgiving at our house, and we're very thankful for that. And then a lot of football. Of course, it's going to be tough to beat last night's game.
I heard that it was a high-scoring game.
It was an exciting game. Too many yellow flags.
Okay.
But other than that, it was a fantastic game. But, yeah, just a lot of family time and just enjoying it. Food coma, like I mentioned.
Coma. Yeah, it's going to be great. Always a good time. Well, good. Well, happy Thanksgiving to
you.
You
too.
Look
Thank
forward
you.
to chatting with you again next week as the trifecta of the holidays continue.
That's right.
It's going to be a good time. Got to take a break. 8 minutes to the top of the hour. We'll look forward to chatting with you again next week. Bryan, always fun. Your phone calls when you come back. Open lines to you for hour number 3 of The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Market Information, Mid-America Ag Network. In for Craig Mead, I'm Andy Hoosier, kicking off a Tuesday morning as we saw the grains and oilseeds in a pretty much red drop yesterday. Livestock had a pretty nice growth, but not quite on the board yet this morning. Starting off with your soybeans today, still a bit of a down trek right now. 15 points lower for January soybeans to 877 1/4. March is at 15 1/4 to 890 1/2, while May is sitting at 14 1/2 lower to 904 1/4. Soybean meal, no different story here. 4 points lower to 306.90. January soybean meal down 410 to 308.90. In March is 390 lower to 311 and 30 cents. We are seeing a little bit of green when it comes to soybean oil now. They started off lower this morning, now moving upward 4 cents higher to 27.41 for December. And January soybean meal is 2 cents higher to 27.59. Over in the cotton, we are seeing 18 cents lower for December, 75.70. Right now, March cotton is 19 cents lower to 77.86, and May 30 cents lower to 79.02. Over in the grains, we started off lower, and we're still seeing now a little bit mixed across the board. December corn 1 3/4 lower to 363 even. March corn is down 2 points to 373 3/4, while May is sitting at 381 1/4, which is 2 1/4 lower. Over in the wheat, 7 1/4 lower to 499 1/2. March wheat is down 7 1/2 to 507 3/4. KC wheat, we are seeing in the green just a little bit, a quarter higher to 474 1/2 right now for December. March KC wheat is at 499, which is just a quarter higher. So we are seeing a little mixed across the board, still mostly lower, though, when it comes to grains and oilseeds. Livestock will be on the board here in just a bit. The market information in for Craig Mead. I'm Andy Hoosier for the Mid-America Ag Network.
What brings back memories of Christmas past or builds new ones for holidays to come? More than the beauty of a farm-fresh Christmas tree gracing your home. Or could be more welcoming than a live wreath greeting your holiday guests. What could be more beautiful? Winning a free one, of course. Listen to The Voice of Reason on KQAM mornings from 6 to 9 for your chance to win an incredible tree or wreath fresh from 4C Christmas Tree Farms. And get ready to enjoy the majesty of a great Christmas tradition with warmest holiday wishes from Jewelry Savers and Carl's Goodyear and KQAM.
I scream. You scream. We all scream for Bailey's Irish Cream. And right now at Davis Liquor Outlet, 750 milliliters of Bailey's Irish Cream are only $19.99.
Get your Bailey's on at Davis Liquor Outlet.
Each store independently owned and operated.
With 4 Greater Wichita locations.
Hi, this is Steve Anthemides with Athena Jewelry. My dad opened the doors of our family jewelry business almost 50 years ago. And today we are the longest standing independent jewelry store in Wichita. People tell us we treat them like family. And in addition to a massive inventory, we take a lot of pride in creating unique, one-of-a-kind pieces, as well as same-day sizing and repair in most cases. So take this as my personal invitation to come see us, Athena Jewelry, 219 East Douglas in Wichita.
Make tracks to the Tulsa Farm Show December 6th through 8th at the River Spirit Expo. View all the latest farm equipment and services from more than 370 exhibitors, along with cattle equipment demos and the Livestock Handling Skills Scholarship Finals. Don't miss daily horse training seminars by Craig Cameron and test drive and enter to win a new Spartan mower. Be sure to participate in the live auction to support scholarships for Oklahoma students. Show hours 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 4 p.m. Saturday. Admission and parking are free. Visit TulsaFarmShow.com for details.
The original Black Friday dealership is back. Mel Hambleton Ford will do something other dealerships have tried to copy but can't. The big corner of 119th and West Kellogg is bringing back black. Visit mhford.com for details.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
Tequila connoisseurs know there's only one boss, El Patron.
Right now at Davis Liquor Outlet, get 750 milliliters of El Patron Silver for only $40.99 with 4 locations across Greater Wichita.
We are Davis Liquor Outlet.
Each store independently owned and operated.
Top of the hour news coming up. We've got lots more to get to. Thanks again to Bryan Frye, Wichita City Council member, joining the program. Always a pleasure chatting with him, as we do every single Tuesday. Tomorrow we'll have Jim Howell, the County Commissioner, joining the show. Plus, we may move him a little bit. We'll see if we can't move him to 8 o'clock instead of 7:30, as we do have at 7:30 tomorrow U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. That's going to be pretty awesome. Oh, I don't know, probably the only local market in the country to actually get him for an interview. It may be a short interview, like 5 minutes. They said it's going to be like a really tight schedule, but nonetheless, we're going to get him. So we appreciate that very much. We'll look forward to doing that here very soon tomorrow. Open lines to you for hour number 3 today, 316-721-8255. We have some statewide news to get to. I do want to readdress the immigration issue again. We called it. We said this was going to happen to a T. Like, it was like literally no rim, all net kind of shot that we did for this one for the prediction. It's just sad that we can foresee this happening, and yet we can't do anything about it. It's like watching the train wreck. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to be there, but we can't do anything to stop it. Drives you nuts sometimes. We'll do that and more. Your phone calls when we come back. This is your show. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. Hour number 3, The Voice of Reason, coming up.
John Sidoric shares the advantages of having an aircraft maintenance partnership with JD Aviation Services.
We can go from simple stuff, changing oil, changing tires, annual inspection, all the way to rebuild a complete engine, replace sheet metal, treat corrosion, whatever's needed. We're a little further out, it's a lot less expensive. My overhead allows me to pass on some of those savings to our clients because I don't have as high an hourly rate.
Find out more about JD Aviation Services at iflyaugusta.com.
If you're having a holiday party in your home or office, now's the time to schedule your holiday cleaning with the Maids, because you've got better things to do. Let the Maids team of 4 make your home or office sparkle by using the 22-step Healthy Touch system. Go to themaidswichita.com for a virtual tour of each step. Holiday cleaning times fill up fast, so call the Maids today at 832-9058. And don't forget gift certificates from the Maids.
I've got better things to do.
832-9058.
This is a Steckline communication station, K273CX, FM 102.5, and AM 1480 KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Continental Truck Accessories, 6701 South Broadway. Show your truck some love with Continental Truck Accessories.
Good Tuesday. If you live in Wichita, you could soon be paying a little bit more for water and sewage. Wichita City Council proposing a water and sewer rate increase to help fund a new water treatment facility. The city says the project carries a price tag of about $524 million, and most of the funding for it could come through loans, and the proposed rate increase would help support the new facility. The proposed rate hike would increase residents' monthly bills by about 7.7%. KWCH-TV reports over the next 10 years, a bill of $65 currently would increase to more than $100 according to the projected hikes. The city council expected to meet today to discuss the proposal. Sedgwick County firefighters battled a house fire in Mays overnight, which broke out near Park Avenue and Mikado. KWCH-TV reports firefighters believe the fire had been burning for quite some time before they were called, as the residence is located in a primarily industrial location. No people were home at the time, and no injuries were reported, though 3 of 4 pets in the home perished in the fire. No word yet on what caused the fire or a loss damage estimate. The attorney who represents Sedgwick County, Eric Yost, resigned yesterday. He reached an agreement with the county commission during a special meeting yesterday morning. Under the agreement, Yost will receive just over $77,000 to cover 6 months of salary and benefits. The man convicted of attacking a jogger near downtown Wichita earlier this year has been sentenced to more than 25 years in prison. Police say an 18-year-old woman was jogging on a bike path along the Arkansas River near Seneca and McLean back in March when she was approached by 36-year-old Ronald Niddle, who attempted to sexually assault her. A City of Wichita employee was nearby and helped stop the attack. The woman suffered minor injuries. Police found Niddle with the woman's phone and glasses that she had left behind. And the warming trend continues through Thanksgiving, with rain possible on Friday. I'm Rick Everett.
It was billed as a heavyweight bout, and it lived up to all of the billing last night as the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams, 2 of the NFL's best, got together in L.A. The Rams came out on top 54-51 in a shootout. Patrick Mahomes threw for a career-high 478 yards and 6 touchdowns.
It sucks right now. I mean, this plain and simple. I mean, you wanted to win that game going into the bye week against a good team like that, a playoff team.
The Chiefs now have a bye week. The Kansas State Wildcats took care of the Missouri Tigers last night in the Paradise Jam, 82-67. From the sports desk, I'm Doug Downs.
Winter is here.
And Continental Truck Accessories has what your truck needs to help get any job done.
Sure, we have toppers and lids, cargo storage systems,
vaults, bed covers, Nerf bars, and grill guards.
But
we also carry affordable snow sport snow plows for your truck or ATV.
With our affordable products and installation,
satisfaction is a guarantee.
Stop by our showroom at 6701 South Broadway.
Or call Continental Truck Accessories, your authorized Penske truck leasing agent. Continental Truck Accessories. Cholita's Mexican Restaurant reminds you.
You know it's coming. It's inevitable. It happens every year at this time. And once again, here it comes. Turkey.
Turkey casserole.
Turkey pot pie.
Turkey sandwich.
Turkey dinner.
Turkey spice latte.
Cholita's Mexican Restaurant has been Wichita's cure for turkey overload since 1986. Whether it's the Wednesday before Turkey Day or the Friday after, start a new family tradition with our family's tradition of serving great Mexican food. Central and Tyler in the Westlink Shopping Center celebrate at Cholita's Mexican Restaurant.
Jewelry Savers started out over 4 decades ago and today is still run by family. In fact, it's become a Wichita tradition. This coming Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Check out Jewelry Savers at K96 in Greenwich from 10 to 4 p.m. with doorbusters, holiday treats, in-store festivities, and even Santa in store for pictures with the kids from 11 to 1. If it's jewelry on your list, it's Jewelry Savers. Easy financing and layaway available.
Here's the latest from the KQAM News Center.
The Trump administration cannot refuse asylum to immigrants crossing illegally into the U.S. from Mexico. That's the ruling of a federal judge after hearing arguments in San Francisco. This as the Pentagon says it expects to start sending home soon some of the 6,000 troops sent to the border in October. The confirmed death toll in Northern California's wildfire has now reached 79, and in the southern part of the state around Los Angeles, the Woolsey fire continues to burn. Jim Roop reports the coming rain is causing worry about mudslides there.
Residents are nervous about the now barren hillsides. There's already a warning issued before the rain comes to watch for falling debris along certain roadways and canyons. The soil is that unstable due to the hillsides stripped of vegetation from the fire. There's also a flood warning, even if a light amount of rain results, says L.A. County Fire Captain Tony Imbrenda.
We've got extreme risk of mud and debris flows, even with very small rainfall.
Pre-market stock trading showing steep losses across the boards an hour before the opening bell. I'm Michael Toscano.
Your local weather on KQAM. Brought to you by Propane Central. Residential, commercial, industrial, and agricultural. Visit them online at propanecentral.com.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, sunny and clear, high near 51, low tonight around 33. Tomorrow, sunny and clear, high near 56, low around 37, sunny and 57 for Thanksgiving Day Thursday, chance of rain Thursday night after midnight. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 8:06, it's currently 25 degrees.
Broadcasting from the Rusty Eck Ford Studios, this is the Big Talker, 1480 AM and 102.5 FM KQAM. It's time for Reason.
Now we can move forward and we can do something really fantastic here. If we can light the fire under our legislature, if we can get Republicans on board to do the right thing, to not play wishy-washy politics, to not coddle to the education special interests, maybe we can get our budget under control. We're now prepared to understand that everything we do, we have to do with a supermajority to override her veto, because she's going to veto just about everything that the legislature does.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Then I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Welcome to the Voice of Reason, hour number 3. The Voice of Reason broadcasting live out of the heart of the nation here in Wichita, Kansas. On the Big Talker, 1480 on the AM side, 102.5 on the FM side, KQAM. We are not on TV right now. KGPT TV, we are not sitting there. They are working on some things on their end. It may be a little bit till we get back on there, but we are on YouTube Live. We have a lot of people jumping onto YouTube, which we do appreciate. Go on there. We've heard some people, hey, just plug it in and just broadcast it right on your TV. So it's like we're on TV again. And you can do that right on your TV. Just go to youtube.com, find KQAM Radio, subscribe to it. We had 2 or 3 new subscriptions yesterday. People joining the page, and that way you can see whenever we go live. You can watch the podcast. You can do all that good stuff right there on the KQAM page on YouTube. We also do the links on Facebook, facebook.com/1480KQAM. Open lines to you this hour. No guests, just you and I chit in the chat, advancing conservatism as we love to do. Whatever's on your mind going into the holiday week, 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. We'd love to hear from you. I want to start off this hour with, of course, the media. The media loves to try and manipulate. The media loves to try and twist however they want to. Here's what they say according to the Topeka Capital Journal. October unemployment rate in Kansas stabilized at 3.3%. Now, if you just read the first sentence, they stabilized at 3.3% as the state's economy added 400 non-farm jobs, officials said as of Friday last week. That means that according to them, it was unstable before, and now it has stabilized. If you throw in words like this, you have to read between the lines. And either we're really smart journalistically, as in the writers of this, trying to make the point, or they're unintelligent in understanding what the words actually mean, and they just throw it in because, hey, you know what, it sounds really good and it sounds fluff. But Kansas stabilized their unemployment rate at 3.3%. That would mean to me that it was unstable prior. During the past 12 months, according to the Topeka Capital Journal, the largest percentage Growth in Kansas was logging and mining at 6%. The most significant decline was in information service, falling at 9% over the past year. Last month, the number of Kansas employed stood at 1.436 million, while the number of unemployed was at 48,000 individuals. Now, again, saying that it stabilized would hint and reference that it was unstable in prior times. So let's look at the history, shall we? National unemployment sitting at 3.7% across the nation. We're at 3.3%, which means, hey, we're doing pretty darn good. What do you think? Now let's look at the unemployment rate statewide over the last few months. Let's see if it's been unstable or if it's been consistent. Because remember, Laura Kelly, this is implying that Laura Kelly has fixed the unemployment, that the Democrats coming into power, that the economy beginning to stabilize a little bit, knowing that we're going to spend more money on education, knowing that we're going to potentially raise our taxes, and you're going to give her a free pass on the raising of those taxes if the legislature allows, which I want to talk to Susan Wagle. I want to talk to Ron Reichman. I want to talk to the Speaker of the House. I want to talk to the Senate Majority Leader. I want to talk to the Senate President, Susan Wagle. I want to talk to everybody. The Truth Caucus. We're going to have them on the show before the legislative session, and we're going to make sure that they don't try and advocate for the raising of taxes, for the sinking in of, quote-unquote, investing in more money when we shouldn't be investing in certain projects, because that money belongs to you and I. It does not belong to Laura Kelly, and it does not belong to the Education Department or anywhere else where they think that it actually belongs. It does not belong to them. But as they say that we're now stabilized as a state because we no longer have a Republican governor and the conservative experiment's going to be dead and over and we're going to repeal these things and everything's going to be stabilized and fixed and all better and hunky-dory. That would reference and insinuate that it's been unstabilized in the past. So let's take a look, shall we? According to BLS.gov, business for the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, since May of 2018, unemployment in Kansas was at 50,000 people. June, 49,900 unemployment. July, 49,800. August, 49,100. September, 48,400. In October, 48,100. We've actually gone down every month since May. It's not been some crazy wild, we were at 100,000 people. Now all of a sudden we're at 50,000 people. Now we're at 48,000 people. We've stabilized and we're going to be good from here on out. Since May, we've gone down with our unemployment by about 2,000 people. In May of 2018, we were at 50,000 unemployed in Kansas. Now we're at 48. I don't know where the unstabilization was. But again, we have to remember these things as the media tries to manipulate and tries to say that everything's fine now. This is what you're going to hear in the media going forward for the next few years. Is going to be everything's hunky-dory, everything's great, just like when Donald Trump got into office and everything actually did correct itself, that Laura Kelly came in and corrected everything in Kansas, that the unemployment rate was now stabilized, that the economy is now stabilized, that the tax revenue and receipts coming into Kansas is going to be stabilized, and it's going to be higher, and it's going to be more mainstream, it's going to be more efficient, things are going to be running smoother. We saw the story about the Kansas foster care program that we'll get to in just a second as well, but that it's going to be stabilized and it's going to be fixed because Laura Kelly came in. She doesn't even have to set foot into the governor's office yet. It's all going to be stabilized and fixed and everything's going to be great. And that's what the media is already trying to portray. We read the story a few days ago about the tax receipts coming in and how it's going to be projected $300 million higher for the next year than it was in the prior year, which means things are on the uptrend, and it's not because of the delayed effects of the tax cuts. It's not because of the fact that agriculture is coming back up a little bit. It's not because of oil and natural gas beginning to come back up. It's not because the industries are beginning to work themselves out again, because the national economy has allowed them to do so. It's not because of any of that. It's because we ended the tax cuts. It's because the Democrat got into power. It's because we're ending the tax experiment from the Brownback administration. Because we stopped Chris Kobach, the crazy, radical, fanatical conservative, from getting into power. If he would have gotten into the governorship, then it would have been, oh, look, it's going to be devastation. Oh, look, it's going to be the end of the world. That's how the media is so biased. It is so blatantly evident. We can see these things at the federal level. When it happens at the statewide level, it is sickening how far to the extreme they will go to try and make their side look good. 316-721-8255. Unemployment rate stabilized. Now at 3.3% because it was unstable apparently before. But looking back since May, it's been pretty stable, and it's been on the decline since May because the economy's coming back. Jobs are growing. Businesses are flourishing. Even in Kansas, where it's very difficult to do so because we have the 7th highest sales tax in the country. We have insanely high property taxes. We have insanely high income tax rates. We have insanely high taxes across the board. Our state government is in complete chaos and utter madness from spending massive amounts of money, not trying to parallel our spending compared to what tax receipts are coming in, but saying that we need more tax revenue to come in to spend on what we feel that we need to spend on because it's the priority of the government to do so. With all that chaos, we've still seen a little bit of an uptick. Not necessarily anything compared to what we've seen in the other parts of the nation where things are doing really, really well because they've actually embraced the Trump's tax cuts, but where we've actually tried to fight them and reverse them and counter them here in the state of Kansas, we're still seeing an uptick, and she's going to get credit for it because that's the way the media and the Democrats like to portray this. It's sickening, it's crazy, but yet it's still expected. We knew it was going to happen to some degree. It's just happening before she even takes office. Imagine that. 316-721-8255. Let's go to the phones here, shall we? It is open line to this hour. Line number 1. Good morning. What's your name?
This is Ray.
Hey, Ray. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. Hey, so Laura Kelly has stabilized. That also means that she's going to prevent anybody else from getting a job because she's leveled this off, and this is where the Democrats like our unemployment. Do you follow?
Yeah, they like it there, and if she can actually increase it a little bit again, then that'll be great because remember, we need to take care of people in Kansas, so we need to make the rich pay their fair share. We need to drive corporations out of the state of Kansas. We need to pay more in education, even though all of your sales tax, all of your property tax, all of your income tax is going towards this at an 80% rate really in the state. Then you need to pay more, so let's make people feel the burden and feel the toughness just a little bit. What do you think?
So the Democrats have struck once again and put a bow on a sow.
Sure.
So, and another thing I'd like to talk about this water plant deal.
Yes.
Okay. Several years ago, the city of El Dorado offered us clean, fresh water that they would process from the lake and send us on a pipeline. And they said that it wouldn't cost any more. There would be no rate increase because they could supply it for the same price that we're getting ours for now.
Okay.
The city fathers in their wisdom declined it, and when asked why, they said, we don't want to send money to another town. Just plain old stupid bureaucratic selfishness.
Very interesting. Now, when was this a while ago? Has this happened recently?
Yeah, it maybe 5 years ago, something like that, and so we came up with the idea that we could clean water and pump it back into the ground.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And El Dorado was going to offer us this water, already processed for the same price we're paying now.
Very interesting.
And, yeah, it was in our local commie newspaper. So yeah, and here we are. We're just plugging along, still cleaning water and pumping it into the ground.
Very interesting. Well, it's unfortunate. I mean, I don't know what opportunities, as you mentioned, have come up before. Now that we have this treatment plant here in Wichita that is, built in the early 1900s, I mean, we need to do something about it. But you're right. I mean, if there were other opportunities in the past, I don't know the situation at that time. But, I mean, you're right. If there's cheaper ways to be able to work hand in hand to make this happen, then that's something that maybe they should have looked at back then.
Well, yeah, but it would be to El Dorado's benefit. They would have a new source of income.
Sure.
And we didn't want it's like it's a competing industry or something, and which it's not.
Sure.
So but this is what they do.
Well, that's very interesting. I was not aware of that, so I appreciate that very much, my friend, and happy Thanksgiving to you. I appreciate the phone call very, very much. 316-721-8255, 316-721-TALK. Let's go back to it here. Line number 2. Good morning. Who's this?
Hi, Andy. This is Helen again.
Helen, go for it. What do you got?
Okay, well, the water treatment in El Dorado, they put fluoride in their water. And Wichita, praise the Lord God, that Wichita says, no, we don't want, the people say we don't want fluoride in our water. Fluoride has been proven to dumb down our kids, do brain damage and stuff. So it's a good thing that they said, no, we don't want your fluoridated water from El Dorado.
Okay, I appreciate that, Helen. I was not aware of that as well. 316-721-8255. The chemical, that is another conversation to have at some point, is the chemicals that go into the water, for the treatment, to try and purify it, to try and clean it. I know a lot of people are very skeptical of that. I've always grown, look, this is new to me. I grew up on a farm. I grew up in the rural communities where we have a well, and we kind of just go into the water table in that sense. So never been really into the whole, city water. I've never had to worry about any of that kind of stuff before. I will say, when I grew up and spent a few years out in Garden City, the water out there was bad. Like, the water out there smelled really bad, and I did not like to drink that too terribly much. So I don't think there was anything wrong with it. It was just, It tasted a little funny, and it smelled a little funky. So I know different cities do different things to their water. I've always grown up on a farm where you always, Ohio, our well was 20 feet deep, and in Colorado on the mountain, our well was 750 feet deep. But nonetheless, we were on a well, and we kind of had our own water to worry about. So this is all kind of new to me, kind of experiencing it all for the first time, which I kind of enjoy. Got to do it. Got to take a break. 21 minutes past the hour. Your phone calls. When we come back, it is open lines to you on a Tuesday. Lots more to get to. We have the foster care program. We have the immigration issue. We have the unemployment rate. A lot of things happening. And as you're trying to decompress for the holidays and not think about politics, they try and do things to slip behind you so you don't even realize it until after you come back and try and pay attention. And guess what? It's all done and over, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, which is why we stay on top of it right here on the show. Got to take a break. This is The Voice of Reason. Stay here.
You're listening to The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier on the Big Talker, KQAM.
Commonly, a D lineman's responsibility on any given play depends on whether he's playing a zero technique, one gap, or two gap technique. They would then attack the A gap or B gap in pursuit of the play. Got it? Me neither. But I love this game on the K-State Sports Network.
Your Kansas State Wildcats wrap up their season against number 16 Iowa State on Saturday. Kickoff at 6 p.m., pregame at 4 p.m., right here on the Big Talker, KQAM.
You're shopping online and getting a ton of email receipts. Watch out for the clever ones sent by scammers. Kim Commando with your Tuesday Consumer Tech Update, brought to you by BePrepared.com. What you need, when you need it. Visit BePrepared.com/Kim. Your best bet is to use only one email address when online shopping, and then use filters to set rules that email from this address gets automatically sorted into a specific folder. The same thing for your credit card. Use only one card and never a debit card. This way you're organized in case something doesn't get delivered or you need to make a return. And watch out for any phishing emails that mention orders or shipments. On the rise are fraudulent confirmation emails pretending to be from FedEx, the post office, or a site saying that a package could not be delivered. You're asked to open an attachment to get an invoice for the package. You do that and bam! You've got the gift that keeps on giving, malware or ransomware. I'm Kim Commando. I may be America's digital pro, but even I enjoy forgetting the tech when it comes to the new Epson Fast Photo Scanner. Scan stacks of photos from wallet size to 8x10s, even Polaroids. Fast Photo offers automatic two-sided scanning, so you can capture any handwritten notes on the back. Damaged or faded photos? Fast Photo has the software to automatically restore your memories. And best of all, it's so easy. Order yours today when you visit Epson.com/fastphoto.
Indeed knows finding the right hire takes time away from your business.
Hiring a qualified data engineer felt like a second job.
More job seekers use Indeed than any other site, so there's no better place to find someone with the skills you're looking for.
I needed someone with a master's in computer science and database experience.
Plus, Indeed screener questions help you find your shortlist fast.
Now I'm back to having just one job.
See why more than 3 million companies worldwide use Indeed to hire. Post your job at Indeed.com/hire. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Source.com/score total visits.
You don't put your dirty socks back in the drawer or dirty dishes back in the cupboard, do you? Well, you shouldn't put your dirty lawnmower away for the winter either, especially when Maximum Outdoor Equipment is offering a winter service special, which includes everything your mower needs to be clean, sharpened, ready to go, and ready to mow next spring. As an incentive to get your mower in before the rush, Maximum Outdoor is offering your choice of early bird winter service discounts through December 29th. 25% off on winter service labor or free pickup and delivery within a 25-mile radius. See full details on our winter service specials and the early bird discounts available through December 29th online at MaximumOutdoor.com or give us a call at 316-943-0201. At Maximum Outdoor Equipment, we won't wash your socks or your dishes, but we'd love to clean and service your mower and get it ready for spring. Maximum Outdoor Equipment, just south of Kellogg on West Street and online at MaximumOutdoor.com.
Maximum service, maximum value, Maximum Outdoor Equipment.
The Miller Minute with Dennis Miller.
I want to talk about thankfulness. This time of year, there's a concerted effort to take stock of what we're thankful for, which might seem harder than ever, but let's try. Apart from the standard thankfulness for health and well-being of friends and family, let's be thankful for any time you can take a breath and get away from the doom and gloom of the never-ending news cycle. Whether it be spending time with a young person to bask in the pure and untainted joy of life, the unconditional love of a beloved pet, a brisk walk around the neighborhood, or even reading a good book before everyone in the house is awake. Take an extra moment to be thankful for that moment when you can even attempt to put the real world on hold and approach something that is increasingly elusive today: contentment. Then, before you know it, after the constant roar of the holidays, 2019 will be here, and be thankful we're able to see that and hopeful that it brings more of the things that each of us can be thankful for next year around this time. And that's the Minute. I'm Dennis Miller. If you or a loved one struggles with leg or foot cramps, you've got to try TheraWorks Relief. This non-greasy foam is proven to relieve muscle cramps fast. And with daily use, TheraWorks Relief can even prevent muscle cramps, so you can get a full night's sleep or do activities you love without worry. TheraWorks Relief only takes minutes to apply, absorbs quickly, and it works. TheraWorks Relief is my choice for preventing and relieving muscle cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, or at TheraWorksRelief.com.
Spring showers bring more than flowers. They also bring that familiar musty smell to your basement, usually caused by too much moisture, molds, and mildew. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove damp, musty air and harmful pollutants. It's with the Wave Moisture Control Unit. Wave can transform your home into a drier, healthier environment. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, visit dryhome123.com. That's dryhome123.com.
27 minutes past the hour. Welcome back into the Voice of Reason. We got the phones lit up. It is open line 2 for the last little bit of the show today. Tomorrow is going to be open lines to you as well on a Thanksgiving special. We'll talk about the religious, the political, the different aspects. Plus, I mean, the progressives who absolutely despise Thanksgiving. Despise it! We'll talk about why tomorrow on our special holiday episode of The Voice of Reason. But your phone calls right now. Let's go back to it. Line number 3. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Jim.
Hey, good morning, Jim. How are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Hey, more fun every day. We're loving it.
Hey, on this water thing, I've been in manufacturing my whole life, and we always had to figure the cost of capital equipment replacement and the pricing of our products.
Sure.
And I brought this up to the city before. They claim, well, it's against the law. But just think, $1 added to everybody's water bill for the past decades, we wouldn't be doubling our water bill now. I heard it went from going to go from 65 to 100 and something like that. It's just malfeasance, and people in office, and I don't know how we change it.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, I agree with the sense that, they're not supposed to be making a profit because they're a public utility, so they're not supposed to be like a private corporation stockpiling money as a profit. But if they do come out and say, hey, we have a water treatment issue and we need to start fixing that, and let's set aside, as you mentioned, 50 cents or $1 from everybody for your water bill, and we're going to set it aside for X amount of time so that way we can fund it up front. We should have been doing that a long time ago. Now we're kind of in critical mode to where there's nothing we can do, and we have to raise it. And it's sad, but that's kind of the position we're in now, isn't it?
Yeah, just common sense doesn't seem to count for anything.
Well, it is the government we're working with here, which makes common sense a little bit flaky at times. So appreciate that very much, Jim. Love it. Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Always a pleasure there. You're right. We should have been setting aside, and I think we would have, or we should have a long time ago. Now, we're not. We're kind of stuck in a bad situation. So got some more calls on the line. Stay here. We'll get to you as soon as we come back as we wrap up the show on a Tuesday right here on The Voice of Reason.
Now back to the KQAM News Desk.
The Trump administration cannot refuse asylum to immigrants coming into the U.S. from Mexico. That's the ruling of a federal judge after hearing arguments in San Francisco. 3 Democratic senators are challenging the appointment of acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker. Senator Richard Blumenthal says the appointment is unconstitutional.
Even if you go by statutes, there is a more specific one that says the Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, should take over.
Bitter cold is forecast for the world's largest parade, Thanksgiving Day in New York City.
But the parade doesn't stop because it's cold. Winds are the big concern. It'll be gusty here on Thursday morning, and that's a problem for the 16 giant helium balloons. Sustained winds could reach 25 miles per hour, with gusts up to 35 miles per hour.
There's Steve Kastenbaum. Chicago police have identified that gunman who killed 3 people at a hospital as 32-year-old Juan Lopez. He also died in the incident. I'm John Trout.
Dell's Black Friday sale for small business is on. Save up to 50% with massive deals on office essentials like computers with 8th Gen Intel Core processors and the latest servers. Even other top brand electronics are on sale. Plus, get free shipping on everything. Quantities are limited. Dell's small business technology advisors can help you find the right tech for your business needs at Black Friday prices. Just call 877-BUY-DELL or visit Dell.com/SB Black Friday. That's 877-BUY-DELL.
The Home Depot has savings on impressing the neighbors with 25% off licensed inflatables and yard decor. The holidays are blowing up big time at the Home Depot with the largest assortment of holiday characters and decor around at prices that are the exact opposite of inflated. 25% off licensed inflatables. This is how we take festive outside. The Home Depot. More saving. More doing. Valid through November 21st. Limit 3 per customer. See store for details.
Kansas Mid-America Network News. A judge yesterday sentenced a Wichita man to nearly 3 years in federal prison for concealing a theft of guns from a Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office vehicle. U.S. Attorney Stephen McAllister says 37-year-old Justin Winger pleaded guilty to 1 count of failure to report a crime. In his plea, Winger admitted to being present when Travis Keller broke into an undercover Sheriff's Office vehicle and stole a handgun, a shotgun, and rifle. McAllister said Winger knew that Keller was a convicted felon who was prohibited by federal law from possessing a firearm. Dennis Butler, the current chief of the Ottawa Police Department, has been selected as the next director of the Riley County Police Department. The Hutch Post reports according to a media release, Butler will begin serving the citizens of Riley County when current director Brad Schoen retires at the end of December. Butler is the 5th director since the Riley County Police Department was established in 1974. Mid-America Network News.
MJ's Truck Repair at Exit 46 off I-135 in Mound Ridge, America is the largest full-service truck center between Wichita and Salina in central Kansas. Truckers in the know already know, and ag people from miles around know they can turn to MJ's Truck Repair for repair and parts for their tractors, combines, and hay equipment. You construction types, listen up. Skid steers, backhoes, forklifts, bulldozers, and payloaders. MJ's of Mound Ridge is also your construction equipment, parts, and repair headquarters. Find MJ's on the web at mjstruckrepair.com.
It's full of comic legends.
What TV series featured Tinky Winky and Poe?
To Catch a Predator. Wall-to-wall laughs.
In Greek mythology, the goddess of virginity is who?
Lying.
It's the comedy game show.
In reference to the drugstore chain, what does CVS stand for?
Condoms, Viagra, and snacks.
Watch all the comedy on Funny You Should Ask. Weekdays at 2 on Fox, Kansas.
Make tracks to the Tulsa Farm Show December 6th through 8th at the River Spirit Expo. View all the latest farm equipment and services from more than 370 exhibitors, along with cattle equipment demos and the Livestock Handling Skills Scholarship Finals. Don't miss daily horse training seminars by Craig Cameron and test drive and enter to win a new Spartan mower. Be sure to participate in the live auction to support scholarships for Oklahoma students. Show hours 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., 4 p.m. Saturday. Admission and parking are free. Visit TulsaFarmShow.com for details.
Here's your latest forecast on the Big Talker KQAM. For this morning, sunny and clear, high near 51, low tonight around 33. Tomorrow, sunny and clear, high near 56, low around 37, sunny and 57 for Thanksgiving Day Thursday, chance of rain Thursday night after midnight. I'm Amp Harrell, and that's your latest forecast on Wichita's big station, the Big Talker, AM 1480 and 102.5 FM KQAM.
At 8:35, it's currently 28 degrees.
When taxes go up, so do our tempers.
Oh my God, no!
Fighting for Kansans every day. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Hey, welcome into it. 35 minutes past the hour. Wrapping up the program today on a Tuesday. It is the pre-Thanksgiving holiday episode right here on the Voice of Reason. Great to have you as we continue to roll right along. We love it. We've been consistent with really high numbers all day long on YouTube Live. Thank you for that very much so. Go ahead and check it out, youtube.com at KQAM Radio's page. Subscribe to it, as many people are doing. We love it very much. It is a sad day in America. It's a sad time when a student will get in trouble. At Emporia State University, for example, hat tip to KWCH on this story, when the student body government VP gets in trouble for saying the comment illegal alien. And you get in trouble for that at school. What? Now, this is the same mentality at college universities to where you see now, according to the dailymail.uk, that the university lecturers are not even allowed to use capital letters as it frightens students for journalism class. University lecturers have been told not to use the words in capital letters when setting assignments because it might frighten students into failure. There it is. There's the stupidity of the day right there, staff. Now, I think this constitutes as... Yeah, let's try that.
It's your Pinko Flaming Commie Corner.
Here you go. Safe space of the day. Right here, staff at Leeds Trinity School of Journalism has also been told to write in a helpful, warm tone, avoiding officious language and negative instructions. Some blasted the move as more of an academic mollycoddling of the snowflake generation, an enhancement to student understanding, engagement, and achievement, with do's and don'ts among words frowned upon. Now, remember, this is journalism class, teaching students how to write, how to communicate, and how to report. The memo says, despite our best attempts to explain assessment tasks, any lack of clarity can generate anxiety and even discourage students from attempting the assignment at all. Generally avoid using capital letters to emphasize the overuse of do, and especially don't, all capitalized. The memo also says that staff must be, quote, explicit about any inexplicitness in their assignment briefs, as it warns the students are unsure of the assignment. Quote, they often talk to each other, and any misconceptions or misunderstandings quickly spread throughout the group, usually aided and abetted by Facebook. This leads to further confusion by students may even decide that the assessment is too difficult and not even attempt it. One staff member said they use the capital letters to emphasize the importance of a particular point so students do not miss it, but now being requested that they do not do so. So we have one university, at least one, saying not to use capital letters in their assignments and their tasks by the professors because that might be very harmful to students and it may make them full of anxiety and fear. and the other one where you just get in trouble if you use the word illegal alien, which means if you use the truth, you're an alien, you're a foreigner coming to a new land, you're an alien, and you did it illegally, so you're an illegal alien. The adjective describing the noun of the alien, basic grammar. If you use that word, then you get in trouble for that, even here in Kansas. But then if you go for journalism, you shouldn't use really bold capitalized letters because that could create fear and anxiety in the hearts and minds of the young, precious snowflake generation. What has this world come to? 316-721-8255. Let's go to the phones here. Line number 1. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Andy. This is Ron.
Hey, good morning, Ron. How are you, sir?
Pretty good. I kind of got into the last conversation on the water source talk that was going on.
Yes.
Oh, it's probably been at least 20 years ago. I moved out to Butler County in 82, but there's a little town called Gordon, which is on the Little Walnut River, okay? And if you take 47th Street going towards Augusta, it's out a little ways and then back to the south. And every year, just about, the Little Walnuts always got out of its bounds and flooded really bad in a big valley over there next to this little town of Gordon, okay? So they talked about for years of buying that valley, going together with Sedgwick County so that they could dam it up and then catch all that water and eventually have a big reservoir there where that they could have water for eastern Sedgwick County and western Butler County.
Okay.
And it would provide enough water for any growth and plus other cities as well, Augusta. But it was a huge valley over there. And every year, like I said, it got out of its bounds big time.
Very interesting.
And like I said, these idiots, they haven't got enough in Wichita. They never had enough foresight to look 20 years down the road or 50 years down the road and plan. Everything was Wichita was just a big country town. That's all the hell it was.
Well, and we've gotten to that point, and we're still at that breaking point. I mean, this city reminds me of the couple of years that I spent in Colorado Springs. It's just about 500,000 people, and it's that big city with the small town feel to it. And you're right, there's still that mentality of that we're just kind of the overgrown farm town kind of thing, but we're getting to that point where we got to realize and recognize the fact that we've grown beyond that. We're getting bigger. I mean, we're in the top 50 cities in the country now. We're kind of a big deal, and we have to start looking at it that way. And you're right, whether we punted it down the road, we just kind of kicked the can down the road for years and years and years and didn't think about it, or whether it just kind of crept up and, hey, we should now start looking at this. Whatever the case is, I mean, we've gotten to the point to where a water treatment plant that's processing all the water for us and cleaning all the water for us for 500,000 people in the city of Wichita that was built in the early 1900s probably should be updated now. But you're right, we probably should have been thinking about this 50 years ago.
Well, also, years ago, it was batted around about dredging all the way to Tulsa because the Port of Catoosa down there goes all the way to the ocean, okay? They can ship stuff out of Tulsa clear to the ocean.
Sure.
Or down the Arkansas River, okay? And like I said, these people have no big plans. That's why I moved out of Sedgwick County and got in Butler County. I wouldn't live in Sedgwick County because of that. Those clowns that ran the city and the county at that time.
Very interesting. Ron, I appreciate that very much. It's interesting to hear the history behind all this and all the conversations that have been had before. Now we're in the position, as Bryan had said, now it's kind of a day late and a dollar short. We got to do what we got to do now for the water treatment plant to be upgraded. So it's unfortunate that we're in that position now because of, it sounds like, conversations that have been happening 10, 20 plus years ago, and what could have been to set maybe some money aside to try and work on things to upgrade to where we're in the position to where we had it now, or we were working on it now with the funds available based on what we had pre-planned on doing. Now we're in kind of the, now what do we got to do? Now what? Appreciate that very much, Ron. Let's go back to it here. Line number 2. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, it's Deacon.
What's going on, sir?
Well, I just, this water thing, I actually know a little bit about it because I sat in on some of the city council meetings here in El Dorado when there was a proposal to run a pipeline to Wichita.
Yes.
And there were three options that Wichita had. They could get treated water, filtered water, or raw water. So the idea that they didn't go through with it because they didn't want our nasty fluoride, that wasn't it at all. Somebody made the statement that if the drought got bad enough, we'd have to give them water for free.
Oh, okay. So it was more concerned about the drought, and if water tables got too low, then you guys handing off water when you shouldn't need to be giving away water sort of thing, and that was an issue.
Yes, and when I think it was like 5 years ago when Wichita was under water restrictions where you couldn't water your lawn and wash your cars and things like that, we were out here watering our lawns, washing our cars, taking long baths, and I asked the question of the gentleman who was making the presentation, when do we have to start worrying about our water level getting too low? Because right now El Dorado supplies 6 other municipalities with water. So, water's already going out of here. And I said, well, when do we have to worry about it? He said, we could have the worst drought in history back to back and still never have to worry about rationing water in El Dorado. So there's plenty of water here. And when the other lakes are shutting down because of blue-green algae, we don't have row crops dumping fertilized water into our lake. We have nice, clean water coming off of this prairie land out here that's already filtered. So, if Wichita don't want our water, that's fine. We'll keep it, but it's better than what you guys are going to run out of.
Very interesting. I was not aware of any of that. Now, let me ask you this. Because of El Dorado and the lake and what you guys are using for your water supply, is there good fishing out there? That's the big question.
Oh, my brother, it is fantastic.
All right.
There are some of the best fishing out here. I'm going to have to get with you sometime. We're going to go out and catch some walleye.
I'm telling you, I have been in Kansas now for 3 years, and I have not gone fishing, nor have I gone hunting, and it's driving me nuts because I used to love going deer hunting. I used to go elk hunting in Colorado. I love going fishing. I haven't done any of that since I moved to the city here, and I'm feeling like I'm turning into a city slicker, and I'm not okay with that.
Oh, that's just a dirty thing to be, brother. We have to get you out in the woods to do a little something.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We'll have to do that here soon. Maybe we'll have to do like a Voice of Reason fishing trip or something. What do you think?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I have to work on that. I love it. Deacon, I appreciate that very much. That's what we need to start working on is start getting out a little bit. And I've been, just working so much and doing things at the station here and being so busy that I haven't gotten to go out and actually do, especially during the summertime. We're going to have to do some of that. Maybe a Voice of Reason fishing trip or a hunting trip or something and have a little fun with it because I've never lived in the city before. Never. I mean, I lived in Colorado Springs a little bit for about 1.5 years, 2 years-ish, but it was kind of on the outskirt of it. We're right by the military base. Didn't really feel like it was the city, but I guess technically we did live there. Which was about the same size, but now I'm living in the heart of the city, and I'm feeling it, and I haven't gotten out in the communities, in the rural communities for a while, haven't gone fishing, haven't gone hunting. If you're watching the YouTube live feed right now, I do like Paul Bunyan today because I am wearing my flannel shirt, but it's warm. I'm still fighting this whole cold thing, and it's insulated, so it felt really good today, but I was like, man, I wear my belt buckle every day, but I'm turning into a city person, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that. I'm not a city person. I'm a country boy. That's what I've done. I still wear my belt buckle. I still wear my camel hat on my days off. I still wear my cutoff T-shirt on my days off when it's like warm outside. So I need to get back to that. And we need to do some kind of Voice of Reason trip out and about into the wilderness. What do you say? I like that idea. Let's make it happen here soon. Got to take a break. 48 minutes past the hour. We'll wrap up the program today. Lots to get to. We'll tease what's coming up tomorrow. And we still have not forgotten, before the end of the show in just a minute, we will do our KQAM turkey drop. Stay tuned in for that in the last segment right here on The Voice of Reason.
This is The Voice of Reason with Andy Hoosier.
Market information, Mid-America Ag Network in for Craig Mead. I'm Andy Hoosier, starting off a Tuesday today, and we had a bit of a rough day for grains and oilseeds yesterday. Livestock not too bad. Let's check in this morning with Brady from Schwedeman Incorporated. Good morning, Brady.
Good morning. Well, we're mixing the grains and a little bit lower in the livestock here to open this Tuesday. December live cattle are down 12 cents at 116.02. February's down a nickel at 119.95, and April's down a nickel at 121.77. January feeders are down 35 at 146.92. March down 35 at 144.07. And April down 25 at 144.40. December lean hogs are down 35 cents at 60.70. In the grain markets, December Kansas City wheat's down 1 3/4 at 472.5. March down 2 cents at 496 3/4, and July down 2 at 519.5. December Chicago's down 3/4 at 497 3/4, and July's down 1/4 at 522. Spring wheat is untraded this morning at 571.5. In the corn market, December's down 3/4 at 361.5. March down a penny at 372.5. July down 3/4 at 387. January beans are up 2 1/4 at 876. March up 2 1/4 at 889 3/4, and November up 2 cents at 924. Deep bean oil is down a nickel at 27.27, and the meal's up 140 at 306.90. Oats are steady at 304.5, and the cotton's down 27 at 75.61. RBOB gasoline's down 5 cents at 153.40.
There it is, Black Friday, and I know everybody has a sale.
But at Rusty Eck Ford, our sales are always bigger.
Now through November 30th, get up to 30% off a new Ford Focus. Ford Escape, 25% off, or choose 0% for $72 and $1,000 back. F-150 XLTs up to 25% off, or our exclusive 0 for $72.
So come gobble up the savings at Rusty Eck Ford. If you don't come and see us today, we can't save you any money.
Oh, Christmas tree, it's getting cold and chilly. Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie. He has trees both short and tall, so come on out and see them all. Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie.
Experience a family tradition of choosing and cutting a Christmas tree direct from the farm. 4C Christmas Tree Farm has a large selection of live Scotch and Austrian pine trees, fresh green wreath ribbons, and bows. 4C Christmas Tree Farm is located at 11501 East Creed Street, just 5/8 of a mile south of Pawnee on Greenwich Road and 1/4 of a mile east on Creed. They're open the Friday after Thanksgiving and all Saturdays 9 till dark and Sundays noon till dark, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays 2 till dark, or give Willie a call at 684-0464. Experience the tradition. 4C Christmas Tree Farm.
Oh, Christmas tree, it's time to go see Willie.
The Holland Tunnel was opened this day in 1927. Running under New York's Hudson River. It took 7 years to complete. And 130,000 cubic yards of concrete used because it even hardens underwater. Which is a fact not too many people know about. Today you'll learn another hot tip regarding concrete, literally. And that is that concrete can burn your skin. The strong alkalinity of cement can cause severe chemical burns. Just like any strong acid will do. And that's why you should always avoid prolonged exposure to wet concrete. Because by the time you realize you've been burned, the irreversible damage to your skin is done. It's even more damaging should it get into your eyes. Whenever you work with concrete, take care. Wear rubber gloves and a long sleeve shirt with long pants and boots for finishing. And safety eyewear is an absolute must. Now that you know, there's no excuse. These rules are concrete. From eyewear to boots. For more tips, visit our website at onthehouse.com.
Did you know your concrete porch and steps, patio, pool deck, garage floor, even your ugly laminate countertops can be resurfaced with real stone as easily as painting? I'm Peter Deitch, president of Deitch Coatings, and I'm here to say you can. Tastefully accent surfaces all around your home with just a roller and a brush to achieve beautiful, high-performance stone finishes that last. Why wait? Deitch Coatings are available to you factory direct and online at homedepot.com. Plan your next project at DeitchCoatings.com. That's DAICH Coatings.com.
Call now at 721-8255 and guess where your Thanksgiving turkey dropped. Right here on 1480 KQAM.
There it is. All right, the very final one here on KQAM as Thanksgiving is just a couple of days away. And don't worry, because this is a fresh, non-frozen turkey from Yoder Meats. It's going to be a fresh one. You can get it ready, start brining it, I don't know, tomorrow, tonight. My wife always soaks it in red wine for a couple of days. Oh, let me tell you something. And then we microwave it. Ha! Joking! Joking! She's going to get mad if she heard that one. Oh, she would get so mad at me. I'm going to get a phone call now. Nonetheless, it is time for our very final KQAM Turkey Drop presented by Yoder Meats. 3 locations in Wichita, 1 in Yoder, and online at yodermeatsks.com. Now, here's the thing. It's going to be a little tricky today, which it is every day, which you guys have been spot on with this. But it's the final one, which means there's only one spot left where it could possibly drop. I still give you 3 options. You got to guess which one it is. If you guess it right, then you win the turkey. If you lose, then we go on to the next caller as we give away the final one of the season right before Thanksgiving. And your options today are Heartland Avionics and JD Aviation, EMC Insurance, and Continental Truck Accessories. Again, Heartland Avionics, JD Aviation, EMC Insurance, or Continental Truck Accessories. Those are your 3 options. Who will win the final KQAM Yoder Meats Turkey of the season? Let's go to line number 1 here. Good morning. Who's this? Hello. All right. Let's try line number 2 here. 316-721-8255. Good morning. Who's this?
It's Mike.
Hey, good morning, Mike. How are you, sir?
Oh, good. How about yourself?
Hey, we live in the dream, my friend. Appreciate it. All right. Your 3 options, Heartland Avionics, EMC Insurance, Continental Truck Accessories. Who will win the final turkey drop?
I'm hoping it's Continental Truck Accessories.
Continental Truck Accessories. Let's go right to the helicopter flying high and above. Will the turkey drop on Continental Truck Accessories for the final one of the day? Can we win it? Is it going to?
Oh, no.
Oh! Didn't quite win that one, Mike. Thanks for trying, my friend, and happy Thanksgiving to you, even though you didn't win there. Try again tomorrow. Get your Christmas tree, though. We are giving one of those away tomorrow, so stay tuned in for that one. Hat tip to 4C Christmas Tree Farms. Let's go back to the phones here. Line number 3. Good morning. Who's this?
Hello.
Hey, how we doing?
Hey.
Yeah, what's your name?
Donovan.
All right, let's see here. You have 2 options. It's a 50-50 chance to get your turkey. You can either get Heartland Avionics or EMC Insurance. Which one do you think it's going to land on today?
EMC Insurance.
EMC Insurance. Let's try it here. The helicopter flying high and above. If you get it right, you get yours. If not, there's only one other choice left. Which one could it possibly be today?
Oh, no.
Oh, didn't win that one. Hey, thanks for trying. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And again, try back tomorrow as you get your Thanksgiving or your Christmas tree. We're going to be giving one of those away tomorrow on the show, but appreciate playing. There's one option left. I don't know which one it could possibly be, but let's go ahead and try this. Line number 3. Good morning. Who's this?
Mike.
Hey, Mike. All right. Give it a try here. You got one option left. Who could it possibly be today? Heartland Avionics or Heartland Avionics?
Let's take a stab. I'm going to go for Heartland Avionics.
I'm going to give that a try at Heartland Avionics. We'll have to try this one. Let's see the helicopter flying high and above. Can it land on Heartland Avionics or Heartland Avionics? Ah, there it is. The winner. We got it, Mike. I love it. Congratulations to you, my friend. You won yourself a Thanksgiving turkey. Hat tip to Yoder Meats and KQAM Radio and Heartland Avionics, JD Aviation. Stay on the line. We'll get your information here in just a second. And you can swing by, grab your gift certificate from Yoder Meats. Go pick out your fresh turkey. Probably still moving at Yoder Meats because they're that fresh. And happy Thanksgiving to you. Doug Downs coming in here as well. Did you guys give your last one away today, too?
Well, I'm just going to say this because I was out there listening to you.
Yes.
I just want you to know we didn't have anybody not guess right. You're always saying us sports guys are dumb.
Oh.
Apparently our sports guys are pretty smart because
They're on.
nobody guessed wrong.
Nobody missed the turkey drop.
Nobody.
The entire 2 weeks?
The entire 2 weeks.
I mean, we had a few that missed, but today was kind of a rough one. We had to go all 3 options here.
Wow.
Man. So, but you guys gave your final one away tomorrow. You guys are doing a Christmas tree as well on KGSO.
Sure.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. And we're giving away Metallica tickets, too.
Now, see, you guys get the fun stuff here. You guys get the Metallica tickets. I'm a little jealous on that one. Anyways,
dudes, man.
It's sports guys. I tell you what. Are you guys going to do like a game or anything for the Metallica tickets?
No, we make it real simple. We play Metallica bumper music. When you hear us play that, you just call in, you win tickets.
Or do they have to play like an obscure Metallica song and they got to guess what song it is? See, that's how you should do that.
You make things too hard over here.
See, well, my guys are thinkers. We may not always get it right, but we're
that
thinkers.
whole right-left thing. I don't get it.
There it is. See, I love it. Happy Thanksgiving, sir.
You too.
Always a good time wrapping up today. This is your show. It's time to speak up, speak out, speak loud, speak proud, speak the truth, and always speak some reason. This is the Voice of Reason. Coming up tomorrow, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Everybody have a great one.
Celebrate the season with great deals on the world's best-selling off-road lineup during the Polaris Holiday Sales Event. Get low financing and rebates up to $2,000 on hardworking Rangers, unstoppable sportsmen, versatile Generals, and high-performance racers. See Wichita Tractor today or go online to wichitatractor.com. Offers valid in U.S. through 12/31 of 18, subject to credit approval. Rebates and financing vary by model and year. See dealer for details. Always wear a helmet, never drink and ride.
Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattresses from Derby Mattress. You consumers have validated what the experts have already known. Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattresses outlast the memory foams, and Derby Mattress customers have reported back the best night's sleep ever. Cooler, better, more comfortable sleep, and right now at Derby Mattress, with the purchase of your Pure Talalay Bliss Latex mattress, a free basic adjustable base. Simmons Beauty Rest and Serta Eye Comfort on sale now too. Derby Mattress, 105 South Baltimore in Derby.
Broadcasting from the Rusty Eck Ford Studios. Rusty Eck Ford, the price you need and the service you deserve. This is the Big Talker, 102.5 FM and 1480 AM, KQAM, Wichita proud. It's time for your latest news from the KQAM News Center. Brought to you by Kennedy Tire and Auto Care Center, 3250 West 13th Street. Locally owned and operated. Now you have a friend in the tire business. Kennedy Tire and Auto Care Center.
It was billed as a heavyweight bout, and it lived up to all of the billing last night as the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams, two of the NFL's best, got together in L.A. The Rams
helmet, never drink and ride.
And it lived up to all of the billing last night as the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Rams.
Could have give that a try at heart.
Nobody.
That's coming up tomorrow. GRCD Pompeo. Everybody have a great.
Last night as the
Oh no.
Could have give that a try at heart.